to The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
Back-to-back best sports talk hosts as voted on in the Pitch magazine.
Live from the Fan Studios. Here's C-Dot.
Let's do this. Another day, another dollar, another edition of The Drive. You are listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. My name is Carrington Harrison. Excited to be here with you on this wonderful, wonderful Friday. Hopefully, you guys have a lot of fun planned this weekend. The Chiefs, they play a preseason game coming up in a few hours. We'll get to that coming up in just a bit. Vern is going to be on the show. I got a chance to talk college football with Phil Steele. We'll get to that coming up in the 3 o'clock hour as well. We got a lot to get into in today's show. Before we get into it, I need you guys to do me a couple of favors. Number one, I need you listening to The Drive each day at 2 o'clock right here on 96.5 The Fan. Number two, I need you to tell one friend to check out the show. I mean, if you guys would tell two friends to check out the show, I mean, I wouldn't be mad if you did that, but all I need you to do is tell one friend to check out the show, and I need you to remember that the open of the show is brought to you by our friends over at The Other Place. With 5 area locations, go stop by, get yourself some hot pizza and some cold drinks over at The Other Place. They've been serving pizza in this city for 25 years. Go stop by and check out The Other Place. Now, I know that this is the time that I'm supposed to give you guys a hard-hitting preseason football take. And usually I would. But I was on Arrowhead Pride, and they did a story called The 5 Things to Watch in the Chiefs' second preseason game. And I was curious what they wrote down, so I clicked on it. And I was like, I wonder what other people are thinking, because my thought process, and really the only reason to watch, is to ensure that nobody gets hurt. I told you guys, I do not care how the Chiefs look, play. I don't care their rotations. There is nothing that I am taking away from the Chiefs preseason. I simply want for no one to get injured. Last year, you lost Hollywood Brown in a preseason game. You lost Deion Bush last week in a preseason game. The only takeaway, the only thing that I care about is if you get everybody to the finish line. It is obvious that the Chiefs are changing their philosophy when it comes to free agency. Patrick Mahomes is not playing today. Travis Kelce is not playing today. I don't think that Chris Jones is playing today. I don't believe that any of those individuals should play. If there's one thing the Chiefs have done a lot over the last handful of seasons, it's play football. So I don't think the one series of Mahomes going out there, I don't really think it makes that much of a difference. The same way that I say in baseball, you can't make the postseason in April, but you can miss the postseason. You can't win the Super Bowl in preseason. You can certainly lose the Super Bowl in the preseason. So I'm perfectly fine with Patrick Mahomes having a hat and hanging out on the sideline. Travis Kelce, if you don't want to come to the game and you and your girlfriend want to celebrate her appearance on your podcast, have at it. Chris Jones, if you want to stay at home and play Ready or Not on PlayStation 5, have at it. Have all the fun that you need. All we need you to do is be ready for the plane ride when we fly to Brazil. So that is what I am looking for. But I was curious, what are the 5 things that the Arrowhead Pride people are looking for in this preseason game? The number one thing they put is how will Gardner Minshew look? I just about closed the article. I don't need to read this anymore. If you're watching the Chiefs preseason game to see Gardner Minshew, we're just watching preseason football for 2 very, very different things. In fact, I never want to know this season how Gardner Minshew will look, because if Gardner Minshew is in the game, I hope the only reason that he's in the game is because the Chiefs put a beat down on somebody. That's the only reason I want to see Gardner Minshew in the game. I then continue to scroll down because I was curious. Number 2 is who will win the battle at punt returner. Okay. How is Steve Spagnuolo going to use the corners? Who is the Chiefs' 3rd tight end? If there's one thing that I know the Chiefs fans love to argue, it's who's going to be Travis Kelce's backup. We love this argument for whatever reason. And then number 5 is the pass rush. So you know what I determined? I don't want to start the show today talking about the Chiefs. I understand they're important, and yes, we'll get to them, but you know what? That's not really what I want the open of the show to be about today. I want the open of the show today to be about the announcement that the NCAA made that essentially it is okay for you to cheat to win. Now, I think we've been getting this message for quite some time in the NCAA, and I know that some of you listening right now is, what do you mean? We got to follow the rules. Well, then tell me what the rules are. Because back in my day with the NCAA, you had to go to them to approve a transfer. You remember back in the day when you used to have to come up with a sick grandma if you wanted to transfer immediately and play? Well, that's not the case anymore. You don't need anybody's approval to transfer. You can just transfer whenever you want to transfer. Now, if you want to receive an impermissible benefit, what is an impermissible benefit in the world of NIL? They give you money for anything. You don't have to actually do anything for the money. They just give it to you. Now, I'm not mad at you for getting the money. I'm just simply pointing out, back in the day, you couldn't trade your gloves for a tattoo. Now, you don't have to do that. The tattoo parlor can just give you all the tattoos that you want and say it's a sponsorship deal. So the NCAA doesn't monitor who can transfer. It doesn't monitor who can receive funds. Other than put on tournaments and bowl games, what exactly do they do? So I was kind of curious to see what was going to happen with the University of Michigan. You know, Michigan, they kind of got caught cheating. They got caught cheating to the point where even other colleges were like, yeah, I mean, we do this, but they went to the extreme. I mean, you were buying people tickets to sit on the sidelines and study your hand signals, to study your code, to study how you communicate with each other. I can see why other schools kind of frowned on this. So I was waiting to see what was going to happen. I mean, we got a Netflix documentary about this. It took 2 years for the University of Michigan to be able to figure out their penalty. It was nothing. Basically, what Michigan got fined was $20 million. They got put on probation for 4 years. They didn't lose any scholarships. They got a 1-game suspension for their head coach. They instituted a 2-game suspension. The NCAA gave them a 1-game suspension. They got a 10-year penalty for Jim Harbaugh, who was never going to coach in college football again. Connor Stallions, who nobody wants to coach in college football. And Denard Robinson got 3 years of a penalty. They didn't lose any scholarships. They didn't have any postseason ban, and they didn't vacate any victories. They then asked the NCAA, why? Why did you do this? The NCAA then said, there were sufficient grounds for a multi-year postseason ban, but, however, the panel determined that a postseason ban would unfairly penalize student athletes for the actions of coaches and staff who are no longer associated with the Michigan football program. And I was thinking to myself, wait. This isn't what happened to Missouri when they had some off the field, off the court issues. Rob, you remember when that tutor was helping out Missouri students? That tutor helped out 5 Missouri students. Missouri got a postseason ban in football, baseball, and softball. They lost 5% of their scholarships. They had recruiting restrictions. They got fined. They vacated wins, and they had 3 years probation. Wait, what? You're telling me one tutor helped a handful of Missouri students pass courses, and then they got banned from, they couldn't go to a bowl game, they couldn't do all of these things, they lost money, they lost scholarships, and now we're not penalizing people for the transgressions of a few? Well, then what exactly do you do if you're the NCAA? I'm telling you right now that I can't even say that I encourage your favorite school to cheat because I don't know what's cheating anymore. How is it cheating if no one knows what the rules are? The NCAA, they don't do anything anymore. You don't have any reason to be afraid of the NCAA. So I'm here to tell you that if your team's not good, it's your own team's fault. And I say this for everybody. I say this for Kansas. I say this for Missouri. I say this for K-State. I don't care if you cheer for Nebraska. If you cheer for a college program, if your college program is not good, it's because your college program doesn't want to be good at whatever respective sport that we're talking about. There's no rules anymore. If you want to go contact a player who is currently under scholarship, do it. Who's going to stop you? If you want to offer that player $10 million to come play football or baseball or softball on your campus, then do it. What are they going to do? How are they going to penalize you? There is no penalty anymore. There's no rules in college athletics. You can do whatever you want to do. That's what I think the message we learned from the NCAA is. So maybe I'm a little bit sour about this. Yeah, sure. I don't think the NCAA is consistent at all with their punishments and with their penalties. It reminds me of that saying from Jerry Tarkanian. Jerry Tarkanian commented one time that a Kentucky recruit basically got paid. We found an envelope that had $10,000 in it. I mean, I think we all knew the game. And Jerry Tarkanian said that the NCAA was going to be so mad at Kentucky that they caught them red-handed cheating that they were going to put Cleveland State on probation. That's what the NCAA does. They let Michigan slide. They let Kansas in basketball slide. They got really tough with Oklahoma State, though. They got really tough with Missouri. There's no rules in the NCAA. Do whatever you want. Pay players, get them to transfer. Just do whatever. Just win. That's it. That's all you got to do. There's no use being upset about it. There's no use crying about it. There's no use complaining about it. We can't go back in time. I'm just simply telling you right now, try to raise as much money as you can and try to figure out a way to get the best 12 basketball players to your university. Try to figure out the best way to get the best 100 kids to step on your campus and play football. If you can do that, you got a really good chance. And I wouldn't worry about the NCAA because they can't do anything anymore. They don't have any power. There's no rules. There's no government. There's no structure. It's just, does your team win on Saturday or does your team win on Wednesdays and Saturdays in college basketball? That is the only thing that matters. Coming up on the other side, there was actually a really, really interesting study that was done with former NFL players that not nearly enough people are going to talk about. We're going to talk about it. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
Hey, it's Lucas Ursig from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to The Drive with C-Dot on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by DM Entry Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Entry Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Get ready, KC! August 23rd will not be your average Saturday. Harris, Kansas City is dropping $700 in free play every 7 minutes from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. That's dozens of winners all day long. And it all leads to the big one. At 10:01 p.m., one lucky guest will take home a jaw-dropping $70,000 in cash. That's over $140,000 in free play and cash flying out the door in just one day. Harris, Kansas City, where the cash keeps coming, and you could be our next winner. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey folks, I've got a couple of important questions for you. Do you know how much money you need to retire? Do you have a plan in place for your loved ones? If your answer is no, it's time to get your financial planning on track with UMB Private Wealth. It's never too late to start. Plus, their team supports you at every step of the planning process. Go to umb.com/private wealth to schedule your appointment. That's umb.com/private wealth. Why not start today?
DQ presents The Sound of Happy. Hear that? That's the DQ chicken strip basket. Only $7.49 for a limited time. We're talking 4 100% white meat seasoned chicken strips served with fries, Texas toast, and DQ signature country gravy. Yeah, you heard that right. For crunch time and no time, it can only be the DQ chicken strip basket. Just $7.49 for a limited time. Get it delivered in the DQ app. Happy tastes good at participating locations.
Doug. Limu and I always tell you to customize your car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. But now, we want you to feel it. Cue the emu music, Limu. Save yourself money today. Increase your wealth. Customize and save, we say. That may have been too much feeling.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Our biggest deal is back. The Tires at Cost sale at Telly Tire and Auto Centers. You pay what we pay. No gimmicks, no catch. All in-stock tires from Telly's huge inventory at cost. Plus mounting and balancing by certified tire technicians for only $27.95. The top brands, the lowest possible prices. With a 30-day ride guarantee and lifetime tire protection. There's never been a better time to replace your worn-out tires. These unbeatable savings won't last long. Hurry and reserve your tires today. Take care of your car. Take advantage of our sale. Take it to Telly. Additional charges apply for junk tire disposal and road hazard warranty.
Your cold is coming. Your cold is coming. When you feel a cold coming, shorten it with Zicam, the #1 cold shortening brand.
Oh no, not before my big trip.
The big trip you've been planning is coming up, and so is your cold. But Zicam can shorten your cold and get you back to planning sooner.
Thanks, Revere.
We really should keep Zicam in the house.
Shorten your cold with Zicam.
Take it from America's most revered messenger. Shorten your cold at the first sign with cold shortening products from Zicam, the #1 cold shortening brand. Available in stores or see where to buy at Zicam.com.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you didn't think skipping breakfast was a big deal, you'd be right. Before. But now, Wendy's has Buck Biscuits. We're talking sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit, bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, or even the Honey Buddy chicken biscuit for just $1 each. Seriously, you can get all three if you want. They're just $1, so you'll never skip breakfast again. If you're smart. Breakfast for $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Limit 5 qualifying items per transaction. Not valid in the combo while supplies last.
College holds a mythic place in American culture, but there are stories you won't hear on the campus tours.
The higher-ups are concerned about one thing, and that is avoiding scandal.
I'm Margot Gray. On the new podcast, Campus Files, we cover everything from rigged admissions to the drama of Greek life and student protests. Listen to and follow Campus Files, an Odyssey original podcast. Available now on the free Odyssey app and wherever you get your podcasts.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Hey, it's Rasheed Rice from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
All right, I want to go through this story. I don't think a lot of people are going to talk about this story, but I'm really, really intrigued by this. This is actually one of the more extensive sports surveys that I think we've ever seen. So ESPN had the idea that they reached out to every player who had played in the NFL in the 1988 season. There were 1,532 players who played in the NFL that season. They made an attempt to reach out to every single one of them. They got back 546 people who agreed to participate in this. So about a third of them actually responded and filled out the questionnaire. This was some really interesting stuff. They asked them 45 questions. This is one of the largest independent studies that we have ever seen of former NFL players, and just asked them questions about their day-to-day life. And it was a couple of things that really stood out to me and why I think this is interesting to talk about. I don't think I'm breaking any news by saying this, but I think it was very, very apparent when you read this. If you play football for any amount of time, you will have long-term health issues that are much greater than what the average person is going to experience. Like, I'm reading this story and they're asking them, how often do you experience pain? What kind of pain do you feel? How would you describe the pain on a scale from 1 to 10? And you're reading some of the numbers and how much significantly higher this is than the national average. So in this story, they asked the former football players, how many of you have been diagnosed with dementia? 15% of those players replied with yes. A survey that was done by the National Health Study said that only 4% of men this age usually have dementia. So this is significantly higher than what the average is. It then asked people if you felt depressed. The depression numbers were a higher number than what the average man over the age of 60. Do you live with some kind of disability? 6 out of 10 people replied yes to this. That's 3 times higher than the national average. Now, again, I'm not telling you something that I think you don't know. If you play football and your job is to tackle one another and drive each other into the ground and do so at high speeds and do so for a long period of time, some things are usually going to go wrong. What I think is really interesting about this is over 90% of the people that replied to this study said they would all do it again if they could. Over 90% of the people said they have no regrets about playing professional football and would go play football again, even with the information that they have about what it means to their bodies. I was thinking this in relation to the conversation we were having a couple of weeks ago about the smelling salts and the ammonia, and the conversation that we have about player safety. So, yes, I do think the NFL owes it to these former players to try to do right by them. I do think the NFL should do a better job when it comes to protecting the players and looking out for player safety and their well-being. But on one side of the coin, I think you see in almost every single instance, these guys know the health risk that is attached to playing football and just don't care about the health risk attached to football and have just assumed this is a part of my life. They also go on to talk about how much better their lives are from a societal sense through playing football than if they hadn't played football. I think it's safe to say, even with some of the physical issues that these guys deal with, for a lot of them, playing football saved their life. It got them out of a really tough situation. It allowed you the opportunity to make a lot of money. It gave you a leg up when you were 32 and then retired and then going on to the next phase of your life. Football has been a betterment for a lot of people, even though at least these players have admitted it destroyed their bodies in a lot of ways. I would highly encourage every single one of you to go on ESPN.com and read this and read about what these players said and how they feel about this. I found this study to be really, really interesting. They also then asked them, well, now a lot of you have grandkids. Again, we're talking about players who played in 1988, a third of them responded to this survey. A majority of them said that they are fine with their kids and grandkids playing football and that they encourage it because of the very positive things that come from football. Now, one thing that also stood out in this survey is a majority of these players don't think that kids under the age of high school age should be playing tackle football. I kind of agree with that too. I'm not here to tell anybody how to parent their kids. If you think your kid should be playing football, that's perfectly fine. I'm not the one making the decision. The former football players, and it was 74% of them, don't see a reason why your 9-year-old should be playing tackle football. Now, you can play football, play flag, and there's a lot of very positive lessons that come from playing football about team and responsibility and accountability. There's a lot of very good things that come from playing team sports. I don't know if your 8-year-old should be doing the Oklahoma drill. You can play football, play quarterback, play a little 7-on-7, go out there, throw, hey, little Timmy, run around. I don't know if they should be tackling. I would highly encourage you guys to go on ESPN.com's website and read this story about the players in 1988 and their feelings on their own personal health and also the National Football League. Rob, what did you think about this? You and I were kind of talking about this and we were reading this earlier. I do think it's pretty interesting because we have a lot of conversations about player safety and what the responsibility for the league is. And again, I do think the league has some responsibility, but I also think it's really kind of hard to govern people in this sense that don't want to be governed. I'm imagining that every NFL player at some point has played through a concussion. I'm also guessing that a lot of NFL players kind of know what they need to do to beat the concussion protocol test. You remember, this was a while ago. Maybe you don't remember this. Remember Jason Witten clearly had something wrong with him? And Jason Witten was about ready to fight the training staff to get his helmet back, to get back out there on the field. I think these guys will do anything physically possible to go out there. That is the culture of playing football. It's ingrained in you from a very young age. Are you hurt or injured? And if you are hurt, you can simply just push through it and play football. I think that's what these guys want to do. This is what they've signed up for. And especially now in 2025, there's no denying the health risk, whether it's short-term or long-term when it comes to playing football. Guys know what it is and just have signed up to play.
I think for me, the things that stands out, and this article kind of highlighted it. We know a lot what this article said. Football is a dangerous game. I'm not breaking new ground here. And when it's played at the highest level with the most athletic people, it's even more dangerous than the lower levels. But what stands out to me as I read this article is, do the current players think about things like this? Like, the Jason Witten example is perfect. Jason Witten is about to fight to get back on the field. Do you think if Jason Witten had sat down and talked to a player from 1988 about his health, his body, and where he's at physically, that he would be pushing through a concussion the same way he was on the sideline that we saw? Do you think players would be rushing back from injuries because they got back on the field? I think we all know the health risks of football, and the players sign up for it, and we watch it, and that is the nature of the beast. I agree with you on we should be adjusting the way we handle the kids, but that's a different conversation for a different day. What stands out to me is I think if the 1988 players sat down with the current NFL players, the harsh reality, the physical pain, the toll they have on their body would fall on deaf ears. I think these surveys are interesting for people who don't play football, but it seems like the people who do don't seem that interested in their future. They're just interested in the now.
One thing that I've always thought is really interesting about football and the way that we talk about it, and then ultimately the way that it is officiated in the fall whenever we start to watch it, is I just never believed that there's a safe way to play football. Now, can football be safer than it was in 1988? Sure. They have instituted a lot of rules to make it safer. I think it's safer than it was 10 years ago. I think it's safer than it was 15 years ago. But if the purpose of the game is to get as big and strong and as physical as you can and run into each other and hit each other and do this repeatedly, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, eventually that is just going to take a negative toll on your body. So I just don't know if you can ever make football safe. I also think in the face of all of this, what we do learn from football players, and especially hearing the older ones, and not necessarily ones that played in 1988, but guys that played in 98, guys that play in 2008, I don't know if they want football to be a much safer game. A lot of the complaints that you hear about the evolution of football, so to speak, usually comes from older players. I think it comes from us also as fans. I argue this all the time during the NFL season. At some point, we have to use some level of common sense between what is a football hit or a guy trying to make a football play and then a guy being dirty and intentionally going out of his way to try to hurt somebody. I mean, we're going to have these arguments coming up starting next weekend with college football. We're going to have these coming up in 3 weeks when it comes to the NFL. We all know what I'm talking about. I think that the targeting rules are too restrictive. I think that helmet-to-helmet calls are too restrictive. And I think there just needs to be hey, everybody here is an adult. I'm not talking about the lower levels. I'm talking about in college, you are an adult that you have the ability to make adult decisions. And at this point, you have assumed a salary like an adult in the National Football League. There's no argument about that. Hey, you signed up to play football. Everybody knows the health risk. You can't say if you smoke cigarettes anymore, you don't know. Maybe you didn't know in 1971, you know today. It says it right there on the box. We got enough information to know you probably shouldn't be smoking cigarettes. And if you do, you just assume the risk that comes with smoking cigarettes. Maybe there needs to be one of those labels on the back of every football helmet. Hey, if you play football, bad things can happen. You can get seriously injured doing this, permanently injured doing this. You could potentially die playing football. You can die playing football. And I think what you're reading with these former players in this survey is they know that and they don't care. I want to play football. I'm sitting here reading it. 91% of these players said football has had a positive impact on my life, and I would go back and play in the NFL again today. That's an overwhelming number of them. These are people who have a 4 times higher rate of dementia than the average 60-year-old individual. These are people that, if according to the national average, they are 3 times, 4 times more likely to have disabilities or trouble getting up or hip replacements and knee replacements. And they all tell you, hey, if I could do that all over again, I would do it all over again. I would go play football. I don't know how you ever make football safe if those are the people that are making the decision about what they want to do with their bodies.
And I think as long as those players at 91% clips say we will do it all over again, then the modern player will say, well, we're all in. And then the next generation, the next generation, the next generation. As long as, and I'm not saying it isn't this way, as long as the results are overwhelmingly positive from former players, people will continue to sign up to play the sport, which is great. I love football. You love football. Text line loves football. We love consuming football. But I would tell you, I feel like sometimes the health risks we don't really fully understand as fans. And I think sometimes the players don't fully understand them, but they all sign up for this. And you're right. Middle school, we probably need to be doing something to protect the players. But
I don't think he needs to be doing anything to protect the players. I just don't think they should be tackling each other.
That's,
you know what
that's
I mean?
an example of protecting.
That's the most protective thing they should be.
Correct. Protect them from themselves by stopping the sport.
Yeah, I don't think you should be tackling each other.
At college now, and there are some states where high school players can get NIL. If you're getting paid, you know the risks. Your smoking analogy is perfect. I like to have a cocktail every once in a while. I know alcohol is bad for me. It happens. I don't drink a nice old-fashioned bourbon being like, yo, I'm adding years to my life. As long as you understand that when you play football, hey, go play football. That doesn't mean everyone has to play football, but that is the nature of the beast as we live in it.
There's health risks with drinking alcohol?
That's what they tell me, but
I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
I push right through those.
Yeah,
I drink those. I drink that thought away.
You're telling me I can't have a glass of wine with this dinner? I mean, is that really a life worth living? You know, if I can't go to the baseball game and have a hot dog and a Miller Lite, is that really a life that's worth experiencing? I don't know. I don't know if there's health risks attached to it. Let's get back to talking about the on the field. Andy Reid met with the media a couple of days ago. He says that he doesn't expect starters in today's game.
I'm still kind of figuring out who's going to play, not play, that whole deal. So there's a chance I sit a couple of the starters or at least be short with them. We want to make sure we get a good look at these guys, these young guys. So we'll just see how it all rolls going forward. Other than that, everybody practiced and did a nice job. So.
Andy, with playing time calls, could the third game come into play with that?
Yeah, there's a chance they play a little bit more in the third game. Yeah.
Is Patrick not going to play off?
Well, we'll see. There's a good chance he doesn't, but we'll see how it goes.
I want to go back just a little bit. We don't got to spend a whole lot of time on this. This is quite literally, it's not even injury related. I guess it is in a way. The only thing I care about in the preseason. The number one thing. How do we get Rasheed Rice? How do we get Xavier Worthy? How do we get Hollywood Brown all healthy and ready to go to Brazil? I don't care about anything else. I know they're going to handle all the other things. I don't question whether or not they're going to do everything in their power to keep Patrick Mahomes upright between now and then. They will not do anything that could possibly put Patrick Mahomes in harm's way in a game on August 15th in Seattle, Washington. Sure, they might play them a little bit at Arrowhead. We'll play 2 preseason games. This one is in front of our fans. Our fans paid for it. We want to give them an opportunity to see them. Pat, go out there and play a series. We're going to call plays in a way that ensures that you don't get hit, that you're not worried. Pacheco, we're going to hand the ball off 3 or 4 times. Make sure you get a little bit of sweat going. We're going to help you out, Kareem Hunt. That's all we're asking for. Like, quite literally, that's all we're asking for. All I care about this preseason is making sure that you get those 3 wide receivers healthy to the finish line. At this point, I feel like they owe us that. We have been talking about these 3 at wide receiver since last March. Since last March is when they signed Hollywood Brown to this deal. I guess maybe later than that because you drafted Xavier Worthy. So last April, there has not been a single snap, not one, where all 3 of them have been on the field at the same time. And you know what? We got a blessing. We got a gift from the NFL suspension gods. Rasheed Rice is going to be eligible to play in the Brazil trip. I would have never had guessed that. If you would have gave me the odds on Rasheed Rice and his availability for there's never a time since we found out about that car accident that I would have bet yes that he was going to play. I was wrong. He's going to play in a couple of weeks in Brazil. So you know what? He already is coming off an injury. Why don't we lock him up somewhere and just leave him there? Don't leave. Stay here. You're on house arrest from now until then. Stay out of trouble. Xavier Worthy, you're a little younger. You're a little healthier. You know, hey, we'll let you run around a little bit, but you know what? We're going to shut this thing down for the most part. Now with Hollywood, I think it goes without saying. I don't know why you would even let Hollywood Brown get tackled in the preseason. I don't know how that could benefit or help anybody if Hollywood Brown gets tackled. A lot of things can go wrong. I want you guys to always keep this in mind about the preseason. And this take is going to be for the next decade when it comes to the Chiefs. Nothing good can happen tonight. I'm sure it's fun to watch them. You got people coming over. Maybe you're grilling out back. You're going to have a drink. And, hey, I'm happy that football is back, and I hope that you enjoy it. Quite literally, nothing positive can happen for the Chiefs today. Only bad things. Only an injury. There is no player that is going to play well enough that now you think that they should start on this team. The starters have already been determined. We know who they are. You know who the 2 deep guys are. Today is the day for Robert Tonyan. Robert Tonyan and Bailey Zappi, go out there and have fun. Today is the day for Najee Johnson to go out there and see if he's good enough to make this team. There should not be any player that one of you own their jersey. Not one of them should be tackled to the ground tonight. I don't know how it helps the Chiefs at this point. You know what Trent McDuffie has done? He's played a lot of football the last 3 years. He's fine. They don't need today. They have one of the best camps in all of the National Football League. Just simply get to the finish line, and more specifically, get those 3 guys to the finish line. If you want to see the growth of the Chiefs offense, it starts with 2 things. It starts with an improved offensive line, and it starts with getting your wide receivers healthy into the finish line. That is the only thing I'm watching for in today's game. That is the only thing that I care about in today's Chiefs game.
Let me ask you a question. I agree with you 100%. Are you surprised in this philosophy shift by the Chiefs? Because it feels like Andy Reid has done the same thing, tale as old as time. First preseason game, series, maybe 2. Second preseason game, he kind of gets them a little more work into the second quarter. Third game, they don't even put pads on. They're wearing shorts and a T-shirt. They're wearing visors on the sideline. Everyone's happy-go-lucky.
I wouldn't even let Patrick Mahomes drive to the third preseason game. I wouldn't even let him drive.
Why do you think Andy Reid changed his philosophy? Because this not playing starters in game 2 of the preseason is not how Andy Reid has handled camp historically. What do you think? Something changed over there at One Arrowhead Drive? Do you think last year's Hollywood Brown injury shifted things? Like it's a philosophy change, and one I didn't anticipate. I think it's for the better, but usually they value the preseason more than this.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of different things though at play. I think number one, the season is longer than ever before. The Chiefs, if we just look at it, I don't have the numbers directly in front of me, but I think we can say this with certainty. They have played at least 5 more games than every other team in the National Football League. At least. That's at a minimum over the last 5 years. They played at least 5 more games. Like there's some teams they've played 13, 14. Like they have played a whole season's worth more than the Las Vegas Raiders over the last 5 years or so. So I think some of it is that. We've played a lot of football, so I kind of know my team. The season goes longer than ever before. It also started earlier this year because the Chiefs are going to Brazil. So I think all of those things factor in. All of those things. And I think as you're doing this, now we're talking about the guys that we don't think are going to play today. I mean, these are your 3 most important, highest paid players. You know what you can't afford to do? Lose a $500 million player in a preseason game in the middle of August. This is Travis Kelce's last year. The worst thing that can happen is you go out there, somebody steps on your foot wrong, and now you miss 3 weeks or a month of action because of something that was avoidable. I know you can't keep these guys in a bubble, and I know there's a certain level of practice that you have to do to get ready for the season. But I'm telling you, with the way the Chiefs practice and the way their training camp is, I'm assuming that Patrick Mahomes, he goes through more physical workouts in their training camp in St. Joe when it's 95 degrees than he's going to see today in the game against Seattle. So what are we doing here? I've been the head coach of this organization for 13 years. I've been a head coach for 25 years. I know how to get practice in a way that we can get the most out of it, and I'll have my team ready to go in early September against the Los Angeles Chargers. Think about this. Rob, we still got 3 weeks left of this. We still got 3 weeks. Everything they need to be doing is to get ready for the preseason or the regular season. So someone says, C-Dot, what if Jalen Royals goes off for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns? Great. It does not change anything for me. Jalen Royals is at best their 4th receiver. At best. And that might even be a stretch. I hope Jalen Royals goes out there. This is the time to see Jalen Royals play. Have fun. I hope he runs with the ones or whatever version of the ones that they have. Hey, this is the game for Smith, the 7th round pick, Rashard Smith. He needs 20 carries today. If we don't think you're going to get a lot of run during the season, you should be playing a lot today. Because we already know who's going to play a lot for the Chiefs during the regular season. I'm not worried about those guys. I'm worried about everybody else. So this is the Nico Remigio time. Sky Moore, Jalen Royals, Bailey Zappi. Hey, you boys better be ready. We're calling your number today. I hope you go out there and I hope you have a phenomenal game. I hope you have a phenomenal... Wanye Morris, you're our left tackle today. Let's see. That's all I'm interested in today's Chiefs game. Coming up in the 3 o'clock hour, we're going to be joined by Phil Steele. We're going to talk a little college football coming up in just a bit. Coming up, I have a question about airplane etiquette. We'll go through it. Keep it right here. So drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
For the first time in a long time, I'm willing to dream that this can be a special season for the Missouri Tigers.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5 The Fan.
Summer is here, and that means longer days and warm nights, rooftop dinners, spontaneous getaways, vacation season, and romance is in the air. But if you're dealing with erectile dysfunction, all that excitement, it can feel like pressure and like you're missing out on something. Well, look, you're not alone. And more importantly, there's help that's out there, especially with my friends over at Heartland Men's Health. They specialize in ED treatments that work even when the pills and the herbals don't, with a success rate of over 90%. Some guys even last an hour or more. Summer should feel unforgettable, romantic, confident, not stressful. If your sex life is just good enough, then why should you settle? Your first visit is just $99, including a full medical consult, testosterone, and a PSA test, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if it doesn't work right there in the office, then your visit is on the house. Visit the website, heartlandmenshealth.com. With offices in Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City, you can get back in action as soon as tomorrow. Don't let ED steal your summer away. Reclaim it, and you can do that with Heartland Men's Health.
Your home is more than just another listing. It's your life's work. Dawn and the Sharp Homes team treat every property as their own, employing innovative marketing strategies and providing personal attention that transforms for sale signs into sold celebrations. The Sharp Homes team can also give you options. Do you want to skip the showings and open houses and go straight to sold? Then contact the only agent I would trust to sell my home. Dawn Sharp and the Sharp Homes team, brokered by Epic Realty. Google Sharp Homes team. That's Sharp Homes team today.
What we've been doing is pulling one of the people that sells a car every month and giving them a prize.
Give Me the VIN is giving away $25,000 in cash every month.
David Ling sold your car last
I sold a 2020 RX 350.
Yep.
Yeah.
Open that check up and tell me what it says.
$25,000.
$25,000. Give me that. David Ling of Claremont, California is the latest winner in GimmeTheVin.com's big cash giveaway.
$25,000. What am I getting for being here?
No purchase necessary. For official rules, go to GimmeTheVin.com. Sell us your car.
Start the school year with hot deals on lunchbox favorites and snacks. This Friday through Sunday, shop back-to-school must-haves like Hy-Vee cereal, Lunchables, family-size Little Debbie snacks, and Goldfish crackers. Stock up on Coke 12-pack cans just $4.99 and Jack's Pizza only $2.99. Too busy to shop? Order through Aisles Online. Schedule a pickup or delivery and leave the shopping to us. Save time, save money during the 3-day back-to-school sale this weekend only at Hy-Vee.
Well, if you're like me, the busy season is here. It's back to school time. It's back to sports time, and that means we are so busy every single day. And Hy-Vee's Aisles Online helps us out so much. It's so easy. Just download the app or go to Hy-Vee.com. Choose your store, select your items, and Hy-Vee does all the shopping. All you have to do is pick up the order or have it delivered to your home. Hy-Vee is taking care of everything as we head into the fall season. Save time, save money. What could be better? Only at Hy-Vee.
Here is your Game of the Week, presented by Hyundai. It's week 2 of the preseason, which means we'll likely see more starters getting game action as we inch closer to the season opener. All eyes will be on the 2 New York teams as they face off in East Rutherford. Both franchises boast new quarterback play and a revamped offensive attack. While it's a make-or-break year for the Stars under center, defensive line play could carry the day and potentially the season. No one likes having to choose. That's why with America's best lineup of hybrids from Hyundai, you get the best of both worlds. Like the reliable and efficient Tucson Hybrid with America's best warranty, or the stylish yet capable Santa Fe Hybrid with the power to navigate the toughest terrain. It's like having your cake and eating it too, but you know, better. Hybrids from Hyundai. It's the best of both worlds. America's best warranty claim based on total package of warranty programs. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
Hey friends, it's noisy out there with information coming at us all day, every day. It's hard to know what to trust, and the world of wealth management is no exception. That's why UMB Private Wealth Management helps you tune out the noise and tune into what matters most. They'll create a financial plan based on your unique goals, so it's your voice that comes through loud and clear. Get financial clarity. Go to umb.com/private wealth to schedule an appointment. That's umb.com/private wealth.
This afternoon, expect sunny skies with a high of 96.
Weather brought to you by Robert Half. Our recruiters' expertise and award-winning AI will find you the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
Be sure to follow The Drive on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, I want to read to you guys a story. And then I want to give you some information about Taylor Swift and the Travis Kelce New Heights podcast because, well, the numbers are big. They're very big. So this first story comes from the New York Post. And the headline says that passenger refuses to stop watching raunchy R-rated movies. And it tells a story. So the story is a woman was on a flight to Tampa Bay or whatever. And she was watching a movie called Saltburn. Have you seen this movie, Rob? I hadn't seen this movie.
I haven't seen the movie, but I'm aware of Saltburn, and it's very raunchy.
Okay, so they called it a frisky flick. So you said all I needed to know. So this woman on the plane is watching Saltburn. She was, I think, on the window seat. Next to her was a mother and a young daughter. She's watching this movie, Saltburn. The mom sees the content. The kid, you already know, is looking over at the screen. The mom reaches over to the woman and asks her, hey, can you watch something a little bit more appropriate, maybe something in the PG-13 category? The woman then says, it's not my responsibility to be an in-flight babysitter, and then puts her headphones back on. And they were debating, are you allowed to ask somebody this? Hey, they're not bothering anybody. They're sitting there watching it, but there is a kid around. What should they do? I'm kind of on the mom's side of this argument. Number one, why are you watching these kinds of movies? I never seen it, so maybe it's not that bad. I don't know. I'm just simply going off what you just told me. You called it a raunchy film. Why are you watching this in public and on the plane? I feel like if somebody taps you, and maybe your headphones are kind of loud, like, hey, can you turn it down just a little bit? Not a lot. I see you got headphones on, but it's kind of blaring through. Just a normal courtesy is like, all right, cool. Now, I don't know about you guys, but whenever I'm on the plane, I give myself a bunch of different options because I don't know what I want to watch. This past time on a plane, I had Den of Thieves 2 pulled up. I hadn't seen it yet. If somebody just said, hey, hey, my kid's right here, you know what? That's perfectly fine. I've got the SEC football documentary that I haven't seen yet. I'm cool with watching that. I'm perfectly fine with watching. I also watched a 30 for 30, the 2 Escobars. I hadn't seen it in a while. There are more options of things that I want to watch. I don't have to watch this right now. I kind of feel like in this, just having a little bit of courtesy, being a good person, being mindful of the people that are around you goes a long way. I'm on the moms and daughters side here of, I think, at least according to this woman's story, the person just tapped her on the shoulder, asked if she could watch something a little bit more appropriate, something in the PG-13 category. The woman replies, it's not my responsibility to be an in-flight babysitter, and then goes about her business. I kind of feel like the woman's in the wrong here.
I agree with you. Now, I will say, I will give the woman's wrong for saying I'm not your in-flight babysitter. I mean, come on now. But I will say, to defend her a little bit, it's possible you turn on a movie and you don't know what's coming, and then you're like, whoa, and you try to maybe like fast forward or maneuver through. Like, there have been times where I've been trying to catch up on Game of Thrones, and I'm on a flight, I'm throwing Game of Thrones on.
That's fair.
And you know what happens in Game of Thrones? Stuff the kids shouldn't be seeing. And when it happens, I didn't know that's coming up in the episode. I try to fast forward. I try to like, whoa, my bad. Try to olay the situation as best I can. I think it's fair to have these things if it's catching you off guard. But like, if you know it's coming and you're aware that it's going to be a problem and maybe you're sitting next to a kiddo, try your best to do a little bit of, self-reflection. Like, this movie can wait. Everyone tells me this movie has some parts that are a little risque. I'll maybe watch a less risque thing because I'm next to a 12-year-old. Like, have a little bit of self-awareness.
I can't even really understand the thought process of wanting to watch that while sitting next to a kid. Again, I've never seen this movie, so I can only judge it from a certain perspective. If you're telling me it's not that bad, then maybe it's not that bad and this person was overreacting. But I feel like, again, there's just a level of decorum that you should maybe have when the kiddos are around that, hey, maybe you should just find something else to watch, Just find something else to watch. You didn't download anything else. The only thing you downloaded was Saltburn. All the options that are on Netflix, all the options that are on Hulu, you only downloaded this one thing to watch? No, I could just, that's perfectly fine. Hey, that's cool. You know what? I get it. No, so it's perfectly fine. You know what? I'll just watch something else. I feel like that's being very, very reasonable. Let me give you guys some of the numbers that have popped up in relation to Taylor Swift going on the New Heights podcast. Now, I don't know if these are individual clip views. I don't imagine that they put the entire episode on Instagram. Maybe they did, but I'm just going off the numbers that they have. 379 million views on the Instagram video. 61.6 million views on Twitter. 35 million views on TikTok. It has currently been viewed, the full video has been viewed 15 million times on YouTube. At one point, they had 1.3 million live viewers. It is the most people who have ever been watching a single individual stream on YouTube in the history of YouTube. And it's been around for a long time. More people than watch the president sit down with Joe Rogan. More people. 1.3 million people were watching this at one time. It's like a legitimate television show. The stream crashed. We do know that. They passed 3 million followers on Instagram, and since she made her debut on their podcast, they have added over 400,000 new subscribers on YouTube. If you want to see like real influence and like real power and like how people have the ability to like move and shape the culture, that's what it is. One thing that I will say that I think we've like kind of forgotten over time, because there's just so many more famous people than 20 years ago, 25 years ago, is like what it actually means to be famous. Because like there's a lot of people that are like known that like I can mention somebody, but Rob, you might not know who they are. And then you mention somebody and then I don't know who they are. Or you listen to somebody that I don't, you know what I mean? Like that's just kind of how the internet is. There's like people who are only famous on the internet, but then it's like this person's only famous on Twitter. This person's only famous on TikTok. This person's only famous on Instagram. Oh, like there's like all of these different pockets. Now that's what fame looks like. I'll show up on your podcast, and me being on here, well, it can change your life by being on there. Like Travis Kelce was popular. I don't want to make it seem like Travis Kelce wasn't popular. Nice looking guy. He's one of the 10 best players in the National Football League. Being with Taylor Swift has changed his life. He is not on the cover of GQ without dating Taylor Swift. He is not hosting Saturday Night Live without Taylor Swift. Think about the people that they've asked to host Saturday Night Live as an athlete. Michael Jordan has done it before. Peyton Manning has done it before. Derek Jeter has done it. Now, no disrespect to Travis Kelce. He wasn't one of those people until he started dating Taylor Swift. And the big thing that I learned from watching their interview is, Rob, I don't think either one of them care. Like, I don't think they care about that. Like, yeah, she's more famous than he is, but they just seem like two people that, hey, we're happy within our relationship. And ultimately, that's all that matters. I'm happy and you're happy. It doesn't matter what other people think about them, and good for them. That was my takeaway from watching them on New Heights. So good for them. So I just wanted to give you guys the numbers. A lot of people have watched them on there. I think we all knew that a lot of people were going to watch them on there. And I haven't really heard anything bad about the interview. If you are a Swiftie or someone who likes Taylor Swift or likes their podcast, you are happy with the content that you got. And ultimately, that is all that matters. Coming up at the top of the hour, I have a question to ask you guys. I think there's only 8 players who can win NFL MVP. I think there's just 8 players. I'm going to tell you guys the 8 players that I think can win NFL MVP. I want you to tell me if there is a player that you would add to the list, and also if there is a player that you would take off of the list. I'll give you the list next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison, your home for the best food takes in KC.
Regular old American nachos. You know, I don't need jalapenos with mine, just chips, cheese.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5 The Fan.
Home title theft. It's on the rise, and it's devastating if it happens to you. Listen to the alarming words of an actual home title thief.
I don't need to know your date of birth and social security number. All I have to do is go to public records, create a document, and file that document. And then I can borrow against the house or sell the house. You may have no clue until you find out that your house has been sold or till several loans or several banks are foreclosing on you.
For pennies a day, Home Title Lock puts a virtual barrier of protection around your home's title with 24/7 monitoring. The instant they detect any tampering, you'll get an alert. And that's bad news for home title thieves. So when's the last time you checked on the title to your home? Find out if you're already a victim with your free title scan and complete title report. $100 value free with sign up. Just go to HomeTitleLock.com and sign up in minutes. That's HomeTitleLock.com. HomeTitleLock.com.
This ad furnished by Nesmith Taju LLC. Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Great. Maxed out cards, rent is due, bills are piling up. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
We should do what my brother did. He went to 89cash.com and got $3,000.
With our bad credit?
89cash.com is different. They're one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000.
I'm sure there's a lot of paperwork.
Nope. My brother said it was fast and easy. He did it right from his phone.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan of up to $5,000 in minutes, and your cash can hit your bank account as soon as the next day. Our lenders have millions of dollars to lend regardless of your credit history.
Great news! I went to 89cash.com and we'll have our money as soon as tomorrow.
Wow, that is fast.
If you need extra cash, go to 89cash.com. That's 89cash.com. 89cash.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code CODE to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code CODE for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code CODE for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
Hi, this is Toby Tobin along with Jason Goodenkoff with Lewisburg Ford, Lewisburg, Kansas. Hi, Jason.
Hello, Toby.
Do you have any good deals going on pickup sale?
We got great deals, Toby. Right now, we've got amazing incentives. Always $50 over invoice only at Lewisburg Ford. But listen to this, 2024 F-150s up to $16,000 off of top MSRP. Plus, you get a 2-year free maintenance plan when you buy from Lewisburg Ford.
Whoa, that's good.
Absolutely. And listen to this, on 2025 F-150s, we've got 0, 0, 0. 0 down payment, 0% interest for 48 months, and 0 payments for 90 days, along with a 2-year free maintenance plan, Toby.
Am I able to get a lease?
Absolutely, Toby. We got a 25 F-150 Super Crew STX, 36-month lease, only $499 a month plus tax with 10,500 miles.
I'm on. Okay, but everything else, you buy at $50 over your cost.
Every single day, $50 over invoice at Lewisburg Ford, and only at Lewisburg Ford, Toby.
It goes on all the time. What's your phone number?
816-444-2300.
LewisburgFord.com.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you didn't think skipping breakfast was a big deal, you'd be right. Before. But now, Wendy's has Buck Biscuits. We're talking sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit, bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, or even the Honey Buddy chicken biscuit for just $1 each. Seriously, you can get all 3 if you want. They're just $1, so you'll never skip breakfast again. If you're smart. Breakfast for $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Limit 5 qualifying items per transaction. Not valid in the combo while supplies last.
This sports report is brought to you by Bet365.
This hour's sports report is brought to you by Bet365. Bet365 is officially live in the Sunflower State. Right now, new Bet365 customers bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus in partnership with Kansas Star Casino.
Tune in Saturday, August 23rd for K-State and Iowa State. Live from Dublin with pregame starting at 9, kickoff at 11 on your home for K-State Athletics. 96.5 The Fan. KFNC FM and AM HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
All right, I want to have a fun exercise with you guys. I think that there are only 8 players in the National Football League that can win NFL MVP. Now, if you've been listening to this show for quite some time, you know that I don't think that this is right. And that I think other positions should have a chance to win the award. Why was Saquon Barkley not the NFL MVP last season? He was the best player on the best team. He ran for 2,000 yards last season. I mean, I think he should have been considered to win NFL MVP, but didn't really have a chance. A couple of years ago, I was banging the drum for Christian McCaffrey to win MVP. He didn't win it. I think you could argue maybe 3 years ago, Cooper Kupp would have been a very good suggestion. Now, it's not like they don't give you awards. I mean, they'll just give you Offensive Player of the Year, which is kind of turned into the everybody else MVP. Like, the NFL MVP is for quarterbacks, and then the Offensive Player of the Year, anybody can win it. A tight end can win it. A wide receiver can win it. A running back. You just can't get this award, which, okay, whatever. So I made a list of, I think there's 8 players who can win NFL MVP. I want to go through this list with you. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels, Jared Goff, Jordan Love, Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow. I think that's it. Let's go through the list. Josh Allen won it last year. I think that Buffalo has probably the best chance of being the 1 seed. Buffalo plays Kansas City and Baltimore at home. They also play, just by default, an easier schedule than the other two because they are in an easier division than the other two. Everything aligns itself for Josh Allen to have another good season, Buffalo to be a 1-2 seed, and Josh Allen to win back-to-back MVPs. I wouldn't consider him to be the favorite, but no one would be surprised if Josh Allen won NFL MVP for a second consecutive year. He's one of the 5 best players in the league. Patrick Mahomes, especially if the Chiefs wide receiver unit can stay healthy this season and their offensive line is improved, it would not surprise me to see Patrick Mahomes get back to putting up the big-time, gaudy numbers that it takes to win NFL MVP. If Josh Simmons lives up to the expectations, maybe Rasheed Rice only misses 3-4 games this season and plays in 13 games this year. You got Xavier Worthy. Hollywood Brown plays in 13 games this year. You get one more very solid season out of Travis Kelce. The running back room stays healthy. I mean, he's already won 2 of them, and he's the best player in the league. You can't be surprised if Patrick Mahomes wins NFL MVP. Jalen Hurts. The only reason I have Hurts on this list is it is a narrative award. You guys remember, this was probably 5 seasons ago now at this point. Remember the Let Russ Cook? I know that we all like to make fun of Russell Wilson, but let's not forget it wasn't that long ago that Russell Wilson was one of the more popular players in the league. And it felt like it was a media push to try to help Russell Wilson win MVP. Remember the stat was going around that Russell had never received not even a vote for NFL MVP, and people just determined that that was wrong. I remember it like it just happened. I think it was actually early in the COVID year that the Patriots played the Seahawks. And at that point, Cam Newton was the quarterback for the Patriots. And it was actually a really, really good game. And the Patriots decided to go for it late. They ended up getting stopped. We were thinking, hey, you know what? I just saw Russell Wilson outduel another quarterback. He's got a shot. That's kind of how I see the Jalen Hurts thing going. If Jalen Hurts now, he has to put up the numbers. But Jalen Hurts, there has been a clear divide right now in the media conversation about Jalen Hurts on whether you actually think he's good or think that the weapons are around him more. The conversation around him is only going to intensify. He either proves people wrong by going out there having another good season, or something happens with the Eagles this year, he falls off, and then people are going to say, see, I told you. So Jalen Hurts, he's not one of my favorites to win the award, but he's definitely in the conversation of people who could win NFL MVP. Jaden Daniels. It wasn't that long ago that we kind of had an expectation that a quarterback in his second year would take a jump. Now, he doesn't need to take a big jump. He was pretty good last year. But if Jaden Daniels takes a 10%, 15% jump of what he was last season, that is a bona fide top 5 quarterback in the league. They possibly win their division. They're maybe the best team in the NFC. And you're the 23-year-old new star future of the league. They would love to give that player the NFL MVP. They would love to do it. So to me, Jaden Daniels, I actually think just based on kind of the particulars surrounding him, I think that Jaden Daniels makes a lot of sense. I don't really understand why Jared Goff wasn't considered more to win NFL MVP last season. I mean, he was the quarterback of the best offense. He threw for 72% completion percentage. He threw for 4,600 yards, 37 touchdowns, and had 111 quarterback rating. If Joe Burrow was the Lions quarterback and not Jared Goff, and he put that season together, Joe Burrow would have won MVP last year. If it was just a quarterback that we liked or a quarterback that we thought was good last year, then the Lions quarterback would have won MVP. I don't know why we didn't give it to Jared Goff last year. Okay, whatever. I think if he puts together another one of those kind of seasons, in my opinion, he is in the conversation. Now, the Jordan Love thing, you might laugh at me and say, why do you have Jordan Love on this list? And I admit that this is just my own. I think Jordan Love is good. I really do. I think Jordan Love is kind of, you know what? He's my Kyler Murray. He's my Trevor Lawrence. The same way that some of you are holding on that Trevor Lawrence is going to turn things around, or Kyler Murray, or the way that our good friend Danny Parkins talks about Justin Herbert, that's who Jordan Love is for me. I still think there's a very good chance that Jordan Love figures it out, and we look at him as maybe the best quarterback in the NFC. He plays for a marquee organization. They end up being the 1 seed. They win the toughest division. Jordan Love takes a step forward in his third year as starter, and Jordan Love wins NFL MVP. They just love to give it to somebody new. They love creating and building new stars. That's what the NFL's really, really good at. Lamar Jackson goes without saying. He's already won 2 of them from a numbers perspective. He has another season in which he throws for 37 touchdown passes. He runs for 8. The Ravens are really good this year. Lamar will be there till the very, very end. And then Joe Burrow. From a numbers standpoint, Burrow was the best quarterback last year in the NFL. I know it's more than that, but if you're just looking at the raw data, the raw numbers, Joe Burrow was the best quarterback in the league. They've already given all of his friends NFL MVP. Mahomes has one. Lamar has one. Josh Allen now has one. Burrow, you're the only one that doesn't have one. If the Bengals bounce back and they go 11-6 this year, they end up being a really good team, they make the postseason. Like, they were looking for reasons to give it to him last year. His team just wasn't good enough. If the Bengals bounce back and Burrow is basically what he was last year, I think that Burrow can win MVP. That's my list. I think it's 8 players that could win the award. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels, Jared Goff, Jordan Love, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow. Rob, is there a player that you would take off of this list? Is there a player that you would add to the list of someone that you think can win the award?
So I would take Jordan Love off, but you already explained why he's on there. And you're going to laugh at me, and Texas will laugh at me, and that's fine. If you are going to put Jordan Love on your list, you cannot fail to have Justin Herbert on the list. If Jordan Love's on the list, Justin Herbert has to be, because they're the same to me. They are guys who eked into the playoffs last year, played a road game, and were disposed of. And they were both guys that people think very highly of for fantasy sports and all those things, but the production on the field has been lacking as far as playoff wins and losses. They are also both on teams that are media darlings to take the next step in their respective divisions and go from the 6 or the 7 seed to the 2 or the 3 seed. And everything you said about Jordan Love applies to Justin Herbert. So if you're going to fight and you're going to tell me Jordan Love's got to be on this list, you can't fail to have Herbert. Herbert and Love are the Spider-Man meme. If one's on the list, the other one has to be on the list, which is why I would remove Love. But you want him on there, you can't not have Herbert.
The only reason I disagree with you about this is why I would disagree. I don't really see a scenario in which the Chargers could be the 1 seed. I could see a scenario in which the Packers are the 1 seed. Like, the NFC is just more open than they are. if you don't think that Herbert can win his division, I imagine you're not picking him to win the division. If you don't think so, like if you don't think they're going to be one of the 4 best teams in the AFC, are they giving the NFL MVP to a guy who's the 7 seed or the 6 seed? The only reason why I would put Love over him or a guy like C.J. Stroud, and again, I'm acknowledging that Love is more of like a feeling than anything is. I just don't think that Herbert can win the division. If you're telling me that Herbert can win the division and this is the season that you think Herbert can figure it out, then yes, he has a chance to win the award. I'm just going to guess that he's not going to figure it out this year, at least not figure it out in a sense the way that all of these other guys have figured it out. Not in the same way that Burrow has figured it out. Allen, the guys that we talk about as being the elite cream of the crop, the premium guys in the National Football League. I just don't think that's what's going to happen with him. So that's why I've put him off of my list. There's guys that I would say are honorable mention. Brock Purdy, for example. I don't think that he has the weapons to go out there and put up the numbers to win NFL MVP. I think Brock Purdy can bounce back this year. I say the same thing with C.J. Stroud. If you're going to win MVP, you either need to be on a really, really good team and or you got to put up really big numbers. What numbers do you think Brock Purdy can put up this year? C.J. Stroud, you better throw for 35 touchdowns if you want a chance to win NFL MVP. I don't know if your offensive line is going to give you a chance to win the 35 games to win the award. So that's why those quarterbacks didn't make the list for me.
We both know it's a narrative award, and I am by no means predicting this. But you're telling me Justin Herbert has a career year, that they're able to topple the Chiefs in the AFC West, and maybe not the 1 seed, but they're the 2 seed to Buffalo, or they're the 3 seed. Buffalo and Houston have better years, and Justin Herbert threw for 35 touchdowns and 7 picks, and everyone raves about Harbaugh's ability. He did it without a starting left tackle, and he won the division that Mahomes has owned for a decade. Like, it's a narrative-driven thing, and if you're going to tell me there's a narrative for Jordan Love to do it, there is definitely a narrative for Justin Herbert to do it. Again, not predicting it, but for have one on the list and not the other, it feels wrong to me.
Yeah, if you're asking me right now, like if you gave me just a free bet, like here, I'm going to give you $100 on FanDuel. I want you to go ahead and do it. I want to say Jaden Daniels, but I think the Commanders are going to take a step back. I'm betting on Jordan Love. To hell with what you think. Judge me if you want. Judge me if you want. Right now, if you gave me a free $100, I'm putting on Jordan Love. I'm putting on the Packers figuring things out. I'm putting on the Packers being the best team in the NFC this year and surprising some people, and Jordan Love putting himself in that conversation. That's where I'm going. I'm going to stick with my heart. I'm not putting Jaden Daniels to win MVP. I think the Commanders are taking a step back this year. So, no. I know it looks good. What's the odds on Jaden Daniels winning the award? Probably 8-1, 9-1? He's probably pretty high up there. He was good last year. It's his second season. No, you know what? I think Jordan Love's taking that step forward. I'm putting the free bet on him. Coming up on the other side, let's switch gears. Let's talk some college football with Phil Steele. We'll do that next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison. Watch the show on YouTube by subscribing to the 965 YouTube channel. The Drive, brought to you by DM Entry Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Entry Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5 The Fan.
On Tuesday, August 26th, it's FanDuel Futures Day, a new holiday for every single football fan. It's 24 hours of deals, and you know I love a deal, on all your football season predictions. So take a flyer on who you think is going to win MVP. Take a flyer on who you think is going to win the championship this year, and you can parlay your division dark horse candidates. Mark your calendars. This is your day for your hunches, your hot takes, your calls, your odds. You guys always tell me what you think. This time, put your money where your mouth is. All you need to do is visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your futures bets now. So if you like Patrick Mahomes to win MVP, this is the time to take him. Or if you think the Chiefs are heading back to the big game, August 28th is a day for you. Because Futures Day is one day and one day only. FanDuel, play your game. 21 and present in Kansas. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas. Under agreement, Kansas Casino, LLC. Gambling problem. Get up with your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. It's kansasgamblinghelp.com.
It's time to build that dream deck over at All Weather Decks. Schedule a free estimate today at 913-206-1974 or online at allweatherdecks.net. All Weather Decks, the right deck at the right price.
What's up, guys? It's Drew. Could you benefit a little extra in the bedroom? I think we all could. You might be like my upstairs neighbors who are still making noise at random hours of the night. Blue Chew is an online prescription service. There's no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and there's no waiting in line at the pharmacy. It ships right to your door in a discreet package. and their licensed medical providers work with you to find the right ingredient and strength for your prescription. And if you don't like swallowing pills, that's not a problem because Blue Chew's tablets are chewable. You know, the Chiefs are in training camp. They're getting ready for the season, and they are doing a lot to improve their performance and train. What if there was no training required at all? Turn oh no into oh yes with Blue Chew. Your partner wants you to do whatever it takes to make your sex life better, and Blue Chew is your secret weapon for the bedroom or wherever you decide to get it on. Ready for a great offer? How about free? Go to BlueChew.com and get your first month free when you use our promo code KFNZ at checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code KFNZ to receive your first month free. Then you'll be ready to chew it and do it.
This summer, try the new Strato Frappuccino blended beverage at Starbucks. It's the classic blended iced coffee you know and love, now topped with a creamy layer of handcrafted brown sugar cold foam. Available for a limited time. Your Strato Frappuccino is ready at Starbucks.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, hello. Listen to my voice talking to you about the new Old Spice NFL collection at Walmart. Now listen to my smell. I smell like NFL stars Jared Goff, CeeDee Lamb, Saquon Barkley, CJ Stroud, and George Kittle. I smell like greatness. Why? Because I'm wearing Old Spice's new NFL collection. How can you put the greatness of the NFL into a smell, you ask? You can't. But Old Spice can, and they did. Smell like Suntal and Speed, Driftwood and Drive, Sea Tides and Toughness with the Old Spice NFL collection available at Walmart. Smell like the greatest smell in the NFL with Old Spice.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Happy Friday. This one brought to you by Shawnee Mission Ford. Got a stalled vehicle in Overland Park, slowing you down 35 southbound on the ramp to 95th, and a wreck in Olathe, 35 southbound just past 119th. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center on Val 96.5, The Fan.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Welcome to your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome back into the drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. I tell you guys every year that there are certain things that let you know that football season is back. Hard Knocks on HBO is one of those things. The release of Madden. Also, when you have that 2025 Phil Steele College Football Preview Magazine in your hands is a sign to let you know that football is here. We're very happy right now to be joined by Phil Steele as we get you ready for the college football season. Phil, happy to talk to you.
Hey, always a real pleasure, Carrington. Thanks for having me on.
So, Phil, there's a lot of things to get into. Let's start with the Big 12. We got a couple of teams locally here in the Kansas City area in the Big 12. Let's start with K-State, one of the highest-ranked teams in the conference. I feel like you can make a case for about 4 teams to be able to win that league. Arizona State that won it last year. Utah's a very good team as well. K-State is also going to be in that mix. Let's start with your feelings about the Wildcats and their prospects of winning the conference.
And Carrington, I think you're selling the Big 12 a little short there. There's about 7 teams that I think have a chance of winning it all this year. I'm going to go with Baylor, Utah, Iowa State, Arizona State, Kansas State, Texas Tech, and even TCU all have a shot. Now, when you look at Kansas State this year, I think what you're going to see is they're going to get great quarterback play out of Avery Johnson. Second full year as a starter. They got Dylan Edwards back at running back. Love Garrett Oakley at tight end. I think he's NFL caliber. Offensive line, they've got 2 starters back, and the defense is strong. And we know that Chris Kleiman always has a top-notch unit. Now, the thing that concerns me a little about Kansas State, and the reason I didn't pick them to win the conference, is their schedule. They do have to play Iowa State, of course, in Ireland. And then generally that affects you the next couple of weeks. They've got that big game against Army 2 weeks later. Wouldn't affect them in conference play, but they do play Baylor on the road. They play Utah on the road, and they even play Kansas on the road. And Kansas gave them a heck of a game last year. So a tougher road schedule for K-State, but they're a legitimate contender and one of the 7 teams I think can win the Big 12.
What do you anticipate from Avery Johnson? I think he's had a good start to his career, but maybe hasn't been a DJ Lagway or Lenore Sellers, that guys who have kind of become household names in the country is kind of anticipating them taking that next jump. I think he's been in that tier below. But this is a guy who has been in the same system for 3 years. It now feels like if he's going to take that big step, it feels like it's going to happen this upcoming season.
Yeah, and I thought going into last year, expectations were pretty high for him. Remember, some guy, Will Howard, went on to win a national championship as the quarterback of Ohio State, got booted out of there because Avery Johnson was going to end up beating him out for the job. So I think expectations were super high. And the stats were good last year, but they weren't as great as you thought they might be. I mean, 600 yards rushing, 58% completions. I think he definitely tops those numbers this year, and he should be one of the best quarterbacks in the country.
Right now, we're talking to Phil Steele, taking a closer look at the Big 12. We'll get to the SEC coming up in just a bit. That first game of the season, we're all excited for it. We're less than 2 weeks away. K-State against Iowa State. You're right. Maybe I undersold the Big 12 a little bit because Iowa State is certainly a team that could represent the Big 12 for the college football playoff. Whichever team wins that game, you give yourself a substantial leg up on things. Not only is it a conference win, but you kick off the season right, and that's going to be a long plane ride back from Ireland if you lose.
Yeah, you hit that right on the head, Carrington. When we look at Iowa State, I love the job that Matt Campbell's doing, and he's doing it the old-fashioned way. He's bringing in freshmen, bringing them up to seniors, using the portal a little bit, but not a lot. And I did a blog on philsteele.com about homegrown teams like this. And I think you're going to find that the majority of successful teams this season are of the homegrown variety. Even Ohio State last year, which won the national title, they had 7 or 8 transfers, but the majority of the team recruited as freshmen. They're not bringing in 30, 40 players. And when you look at Iowa State, I like Rocco Becht at QB. They do add a couple of transfers at wide receiver. They had to. They lost Nolan Higgins, but they bring in Chase Soule from East Carolina and Xavier Townsend from UCF. The offensive line looks like it's the best that Campbell's had there at Iowa State. And last year, mid-season, they lost 2 games, but it was because their defense was all banged up. Numerous starters went down to injuries, and they lost to both Texas Tech and Kansas. I think the defense this year will be improved over last year, hopefully stay healthier, and I think they're a legitimate contender. When you look at their Big 12 schedule, you know, they're playing Oklahoma State on the road, Colorado, Cincinnati. Those are teams that pick towards the bottom, so it's a manageable road schedule for Iowa State. But you hit it right on the head, Carrington. This Iowa State-Kansas State game to open up the season is probably a Big 12 elimination game as far as who's going to contend and who's not.
Let's talk about the Kansas Jayhawks. I think a lot of people last year, they probably would have put them in that conversation of a team that could have won the league. They got off to an incredibly slow start. They then got right, and they were one of the more difficult teams. They were kind of dragon slayers there. They knocked off BYU. They knocked off Colorado, and then they had a chance to make a bowl game. They lose on the road to Baylor. Are you expecting Kansas to bounce back this season?
You know, originally, Carrington, when I looked at Kansas, I remember talking to Coach Leipold last year and going over the squad with him. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of seniors. They better do something this year because they're going to lose all these guys next year. And they did have gone this year from number 16 in my experience chart all the way down to number 77. So they're a lot less experienced. But the one guy they do return is Jalen Daniels at QB. And, you know, you look at last year's losses early on. There were a lot of games where they were leading in the fourth quarter and ended up losing, and they were all close losses. And as you mentioned, knocked off 3 ranked teams in back-to-back-to-back weeks. Would have made it 4 that they came up 2 points short against Kansas State. And after going over the team with Coach Leipold, they're in better shape than I thought they would be this year. With Daniels back at QB, the offensive line looks solid with Bryce Foster and Kobe Baines, both all-conference caliber guys. I like the running backs with Daniel Hishaw and LaShawn Williams. Defensively, they brought in a good amount of transfers that should take hold, and I think the key games on their schedule this year are at Missouri on September 6th, at Texas Tech October the 11th, and then a big game against Kansas State. So there's some toss-up games on the schedule this year. If things break their way, as opposed to all those close losses of last year, they could find themselves in the mix.
Kansas feels like they're in the same conversation as so many teams when it comes to their quarterback and sort of an uncertainty of what he's going to be. We mentioned it with Kansas as a team. It also kind of coincides with Jalen Daniels was not great the first 6 weeks of the season, but played much better in the final 6 weeks of it. I feel like if Jalen Daniels is the player that we kind of projected him to be early last year, then KU's got a chance to win 7-8 games and be dangerous. But so much of it comes down to his health and his production this season.
Yeah, and I think you hit it right on the head. You look at 22 and 23, and those 2 years combined, he had 23 touchdown passes, just 5 interceptions. Now, Coach Lightfall told me he felt that Daniels was pressing a little bit too early last year, and that's part of the reason he had 14 touchdowns, but 12 interceptions. He thought he got better as the season went on. We saw them knocking off all those ranked teams towards the end of the year. I do expect we're going to see the 2022 version of Jalen Daniels rather than the one that had an up-and-down year last year.
Right now, we're talking to Phil Steele. We're talking and getting his thoughts on college football. If you could see a sleeper team potentially winning the Big 12, the same way that Arizona State, I guess, was a sleeper team last year. They were projected to finish at the bottom half of the Big 12. Next thing you know, they have one of the best and most exciting players in college football, and they gave Texas a run in the college football playoff. If you could project that sleeper team from the conference, from the league, who do you think it could possibly be?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the team that is off a pair of losing seasons, and that's Cincinnati. And you go back to year one for Scott Satterfield. Generally, when a first-year head coach takes over, a lot of players transfer out. You have very few players left, and that was the case with Cincinnati. They had 2 starters back on offense, 6 on defense his first year, and they were much better than their final record would indicate. Now, last year, they opened up the year 5-2, but then lost their final 5 games. This year, they go from number 112 on my experience chart all the way up to number 26. Brendan Sorsby's back at QB. They add in Tyree Walker from Wisconsin, along with Evan Pryor, who's an Ohio State transfer that got his feet wet last year here. The receiving core looks dynamic, and watch Jeff Caldwell. He's an NFL caliber receiver coming in from Lindenwood, and while that's an FCS school, the thing I found going through all these rosters with all the coaches, you actually have a better percentage of hits with these FCS kids stepping up than you do with the P4 kids that haven't played stepping down. He's a 1,000-yard receiver that's 6'5", 212, should have a big year. Offensive line, veteran group. Defense, improved. And remember, Dante Corleone, their outstanding nose tackle, was not 100% going into last year. Was banged up a good portion of the year. He opted to return this year because of that to make himself a better NFL draft pick. That's going to help out the defense. And when you look at the schedule, I think they might lose to Nebraska in the opener. That's a tough one. It's right there in Kansas City, though. You probably get to go to that one. And then they at Kansas, at Utah, at TCU are the tough games. Pull an upset or two, this team could contend for the Big 12 title.
Let's move on to the SEC. We'll talk more national here coming up in a bit, but let's focus in on Missouri. Missouri, I feel like, has been at the top of that Tier 2 in the SEC. I don't want to put them in the same conversations with the Alabamas or the Georgias or those teams, but right there in that next tier, I would say maybe 5 through 8, they've been very, very consistent. Do you think that they could break through this year and make the college football playoff?
Well, I like the schedule. They draw one of the more favorable schedules in the SEC again this year, avoiding plenty of the big boys. And I think they're going to get off to a great start. You look at them defensively, I think that, Corey Batoon has done a great job with that defense. They've got a lot of players there. They added in a ton of transfers. They're going to have one of the better defenses in the SEC. The question mark is the question marks on offense. So they have a new quarterback coming in, and I thought that Brady Cook did a great job last year, especially that game. He went to the hospital, came off the bench, and then led the team to the win late. At running back, they bring in Ahmed Hardy, but last year they had 2 running backs in, and Nolan Carroll. So I think they're a little bit weaker at running back. You look at the receiving core, they lose 3 of their top 4 receivers from last year, including Luther Burden. And then the offensive line, they've got 2 starters back. They lose 3 starters up front. So the question marks are on the offensive side of the ball. They should get off to a great start, though. Probably 5-0 their first 5 games. Then the schedule gets tougher. They host Alabama, host Texas A&M, and they have to play Auburn on the road, Oklahoma on the road, and Arkansas on the road. But, win the games like A&M at home, Arkansas on the road, and they could very well flirt with yet another 10-win season. Eli Drinkwitz doing a heck of a job there.
I also think it's really important this year for Missouri. A lot of the swing games that they could potentially have, they're all at home this year. They play the home game against Kansas. We're having a different conversation if that's on the road in Kansas's new stadium. They play South Carolina at home. Those 2 programs always play close games. South Carolina is a team a lot of people think could make the college football playoff. They have them at home. Alabama at home this year. Texas A&M at home. I always believe that making the playoffs is usually an intersection of schedule and talent. Do you have the talent to do it? Does your schedule break in a way? The schedule breaks for Missouri to have another double-digit win season. You just got to win the right 10 games.
Yeah, that's right. And a lot of times, when I'm forecasting conferences like the Big 12 this year or even the SEC, home away really does matter. Let's look at Georgia last year. Georgia was number 1 in the country in the AP poll heading into the season, but their 3 toughest opponents were Alabama, Mississippi, and Texas, and they had to play all 3 of them on the road. And guess what? They lost 2 of those games. Now, this year they're flying way under the radar, but their toughest 3 opponents, Alabama, Mississippi, and Texas, all have to play them at home between the hedges. And Georgia hasn't lost a home game this decade. Their last loss at home was 2019, and that's one of the reasons I picked Georgia atop the SEC this year. So I agree with you 100% there, Carrington.
Right now, we're talking to Phil Steele, going through some of the top storylines. Let's shift from local and we'll shift to national. What I'm most excited about this college football season is a lot of the big, important teams, they play really big games in the first 2-3 weeks of the season. Look at the first week of the year. You got Texas against Ohio State. You got Notre Dame against Miami. You have so many of those really, really big games. Clemson against LSU. I feel like there's a group of teams that we have a lot of questions about, whether it's a change at coach or a change at quarterback. A lot of those teams play each other in the first couple of weeks of the season.
Yeah, and, especially the Ohio State-Texas game. Both teams lost a ton to the NFL. Now, I think Texas might return a little more. They've got the number 1 defense in the country, but they're both extremely talented teams, and you just wonder what are they going to look like this year. And I think that's a great game right out of the box. The Clemson-LSU game is vital for LSU. They've been dropping all their openers. Brian Kelly has circled it, says it's a must-win for them. But I think Clemson might be one of the best teams in the country. That's going to be a great game to watch. I think you hit it right on the head.
What I'm excited about this college football season is if you look at the AP poll or the coaches poll, 7 of the top 10 teams all have new quarterbacks this season. I feel like usually when there's turnover at quarterback in college football, it usually means chaos. Everybody's quarterback is not going to hit expectations. Somebody's quarterback is going to be much better than we think. Somebody's quarterback is going to be far worse than we think. And that's why, to go back to what we were just talking about, that first couple of weeks of the season, we're not talking about a traditional college football schedule where you play 3 or 4 patsies to begin the season and then you get things going. A lot of these teams with new quarterbacks, they all play each other very, very early on in the season.
Yeah, look at Notre Dame, the test they have. They've got a new quarterback, and they're going to Miami of Florida. And Miami, of course, one of the top teams in the country, and they're going to have a couple of really good defensive ends in Bain and Messidor to put some pressure on C.J. Carr. The good thing for Notre Dame, they have a ton of talent. A really good supporting cast, one of the top offensive lines in the country. I believe I have my number 3 offensive line. They've got Love and Price in the backfield and an upgraded receiving core to help out him in this tough situation. But the thing I found, Carrington, is first road starts for young quarterbacks and young offensive lines. They generally struggle on the road in that first game. So a lot of these games are going to be fun to watch.
I'll get you out of here with these last couple of questions. Who do you think Indiana can be this year? Who's going to be the team that probably shouldn't make the college football playoff, but you know what? It was just their year. Everything kind of came together, and they end up surprising some people and being an at-large team for the college football playoff. Who do you think that team could possibly be?
First of all, I'm going to toss Illinois out of the equation for this fact. They were 10-3 last year and basically returned the entire squad. I don't think it'd be an Indiana type of thing if they made the play. If they have a legitimate chance, and they're just outside the top 10. I believe they're number 11 coming into the year. Two teams I'm going to throw at you, Carrington. I do like Nebraska with Matt Rule. I think when you look at them, Dylan Raiola is going to be one of the most improved quarterbacks in the country this year. They have a veteran offensive line. I like the defense. Year 3 for Matt Rule, he generally gets to 10 wins at both his other schools. And then you look at the schedule. They get Michigan at home. They do have to play Minnesota on the road, but they get USC at home. I only have an underdog in one game this year at Penn State. I got a couple toss-up games there, but much like you said with Missouri, if they can win those home games, I think Nebraska has a shot at making the playoff. And the other one is one of your Indiana type of things, is the fact that they were 6-7 last year, and that's Oklahoma. When I look at Oklahoma, they have one of the best defenses in the country last year, held opponents to 87 yards per game below their average, number 6 in the country. You look at their problem last year was offense. They had 0 returning starters on the offensive line. They lost their top 5 receivers due to injury during the course of the year. Well, this year they get those injured players back at receiver and get some additions. They actually go from a weakness to a strength there. Offensive line's now a veteran unit, weakness to a strength. Jay Knott comes in at running back and goes with last year's leading rusher, Javante Barnes, so I think that's a strength. And then how about bringing in John Mateer from Washington State and Washington State's offensive coordinator in Ben Arbuckle. Then you look at the schedule. Last year they only had 3 SEC home games. This year they only have 3 true SEC road games. They get that big game against Michigan at home. It wouldn't surprise me if Oklahoma goes from 6-7 to making the playoff this year.
That is Phil Steele joining us on the show today. There's no better person in the sport to talk college football with. We are less than a weekend away from getting ready for the college football season. Phil, I have the ultimate respect for you, what you've built, what you've accomplished in your magazine. It's something I look forward to every year. I look forward to talking to you every year, man. Catch you in 2026 with probably a 24-team playoff.
Probably, Carrington. And, one quick note for your listeners out there. The magazine is only available at Barnes & Noble and Books A Million. So don't waste your gas driving around looking for it. Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, or you can go to philsteele.com and get the magazine. We also have an FCS magazine with 2 full pages on the FCS teams and an NFL digital magazine with 4 full pages on the NFL teams. That's philsteele.com. But always enjoy talking football with you, Carrington.
Absolutely. That is Phil Steele joining us on the show to preview the college football season. We are exactly 1 weekend away. Next Saturday, we get Iowa State and Kansas State live from Ireland. Rob, if I gave you a free bet on who you think's going to win the Heisman Trophy, who would you bet on it to be? I would pick Drew Aller. He just makes a lot of sense to me. He's going to play on a good team, very visible team, national team. He's a quarterback. I like Drew Aller. I think you get him right now like 18-1 if that's the case. Who do you like to win the Heisman?
So you're asking me who I think the favorite is or who I would bet on? Because I think that's 2 different answers.
I agree with you. No, the favorite I think is Arch Manning or Cade Klubnik coming into it. If you're giving me right now a free bet and saying, hey, place a wager on who you think's going to win the Heisman Trophy, I'd place it on Drew Aller from Penn State.
I'd go Lenora Sellers.
Okay, that's not bad.
I'm buying a lot of Gamecock stock this year. I quite literally have a Lenora Sellers Heisman vote. I think he's plus 1,600 right now. Like, if they are going to be this year's Indiana, and they're going to be the team that surprises people and ends up in the college football playoff, which a lot of people think that can be South Carolina this year, and he's going to go from, hey, a good quarterback in the SEC to one of those type of guys, he's going to have to make some noise in big games. They play Bama at home this year. That's going to be one of those games. I think Lenora Sellers is the free $100 bet. I don't think he's going to win it, but he's who I would bet on to win it.
Yeah, I'm thinking if you think Lenora Sellers is going to win it, I think you're kind of hoping that's kind of like a RG3 year. That like the top is maybe a little bit down at the position, and there's just a guy that just has like a really solid year. Like I don't know if people kind of consider RG3 to be the best college football player that year, but he put up a good season. There wasn't like a traditional pick. There wasn't a traditional player, and they ended up giving it to him. I mean, I certainly am not against the odds of him winning, and he certainly has a chance to. And I've told you, I think either South Carolina or Florida, I think either one of those 2 teams end up making the college football playoff this year. We'll see how things play themselves out. Again, we're 1 weekend away from the start of college football. KU also plays next weekend. They have their game. I believe it's against Fresno State, right? That's the first home game against Fresno State. Are we having Kleiman and Leipold on next week?
We are having climate next week. We're waiting on Leipold until the Missouri game.
Oh, okay. I got you.
We're going to try.
That makes sense. I get it. No, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I get it. I get it. Are we going to have Leipold after the Missouri game? Like, yo, why'd y'all get waxed the way that y'all did?
You know what I know we're not going to have? Drinkwitz.
Yeah, no, for sure. He ain't coming on.
That ain't even a Mizzou fan thing.
Yeah, for sure. He ain't coming on. He ain't coming on. We'll get Gabe.
He's invited. He's welcome to come on.
Yeah, no, we'll get Gabe for sure. We ain't getting Eli Drinkwitz. You know, at this point, I don't even know if I want Eli Drinkwitz on the show. I think we're fine for the 2025 football season. I think we'll just try again next year to get Eli Drinkwitz on the show. Coming up in 20 minutes, Vern's going to join us. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison, host of the Random Royals lineup on 96.5 The Fan.
Baseball with the Royals.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
A blood emergency has been declared in the Kansas City region, and donors are urgently needed. Now through August 26th, donate with Community Blood Center and be entered to win tickets to the Chiefs home opener. Visit SaveALifeNow.org or call 877-468-6844 to schedule your donation today.
DQ presents the sound of happy. Hear that? That's the DQ chicken strip basket. Only $7.49 for a limited time. We're talking 4 100% white meat seasoned chicken strips served with fries, Texas toast, and DQ signature country gravy. Yeah, you heard that right. For crunch time and no time, it can only be the DQ chicken strip basket. Just $7.49 for a limited time. Get it delivered in the DQ app. Happy tastes good at participating locations.
Men, the summer is here. Longer days, warmer nights, and romance in the air. Intimate dinners, walks on the beach, dancing in the moonlight. But if you have erectile dysfunction, you know it can ruin romance, both for you and the one you love. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health. And if you have ED, don't let another summer go by without getting treated. Because intimacy is one of the greatest things in life, and fear of not being able to perform should not be something you have to deal with. At Heartland Men's Health, we're ED experts. We've successfully treated tens of thousands of men. Our protocols work when others don't, and we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. You could even last up to an hour or more and perform like you haven't in years. So call us. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
This ad furnished by Nesmith Taju LLC. Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Great. Maxed out cards, rent is due, bills are piling up. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
We should do what my brother did. He went to 89cash.com and got $3,000.
With our bad credit?
89cash.com is different. They're one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000.
I'm sure there's a lot of paperwork.
Nope. My brother said it was fast and easy. He did it right from his phone.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan of up to $5,000 in minutes, and your cash can hit your bank account as soon as the next day. Our lenders have millions of dollars to lend regardless of your credit history.
Great news! I went to 89cash.com and we'll have our money as soon as tomorrow.
Wow, that is fast.
If you need extra cash, go to 89cash.com. That's 89cash.com. 89cash.com.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Well, these polymers aren't as flexible as batch K3.
Researcher Laurie is stretched thin.
Did you get the vulcanization analytics from V66? Oh, wait, are these rubber scores from last week?
She needs to hire new lab technicians so she can bounce back into her old self.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our matching platform lets you spend less time searching and more time connecting with candidates. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, hello. Listen to my voice talking to you about the new Old Spice NFL collection at Walmart. Now listen to my smell. I smell like NFL stars Jared Goff, CeeDee Lamb, Saquon Barkley, CJ Stroud, and George Kittle. I smell like greatness. Why? Because I'm wearing Old Spice's new NFL collection. How can you put the greatness of the NFL into a smell, you ask? You can't. But Old Spice can, and they did. Smell like Suntal and Speed, Driftwood and Drive, Sea Ties and Toughness with the Old Spice NFL collection available at Walmart. Smell like the greatest smell in the NFL with Old Spice.
This report brought to you by the American Cancer Society.
We are the American Cancer Society, making strides against breast cancer. Are you ready to join the #1 breast cancer movement in the country? Sign up today at makingstrideswalk.org.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Shawnee Mission 4, 2 problems down south. 435 eastbound at Warnall, the right lane is blocked by a stall, and then 435 eastbound just past State Line, it is the right lane blocked there. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center on Val 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
I want to play some audio for our final time. Rob, after I play this, I want for you to delete the audio out of the account because it periodically will just come up. At times, it probably shouldn't come up. Like, it'll be week 9 against the Buffalo Bills, and it'll be a Tuesday, and I'll just be like, you know what? I'm sorry. We got to take this detour. I'm going to play this audio for the last time, and I promise you I will delete this out of the system. But I have one final question to ask about this story.
A couple's 7-year-long love story. They tied the knot in May of this year, but it was quite the journey to get there. Luke first proposed to Sarah back in 2018. They had only been dating for 6 months, and Sarah wasn't ready to take that next step, but they continued dating. Luke went on to propose. I feel like you need to sit down before I tell you this.
I'm sitting.
He proposed 43 times.
I'm about to stand up and walk away.
43 different times before she finally said yes. Some of those proposals involved castles, horseback riding, many fancy restaurants.
I can't, it's not even the number that trips me up. I can't imagine you take somebody to a castle to propose and then you walk away from that place disappointed. Like, I feel like that's the cheat code. That's what I feel like. I feel like that's the cheat code. But that's neither here nor there. If I set the over-under at rings purchased for this at 6.5, are you taking the over or the under on 6.5? Because there's no chance you are proposing every time with the exact same ring. You can't continue to double back with the same ring. Some of them have the same ring, right? Like, I don't think you bought 42 different engagement rings. I don't know what the return policy is on that thing, but I'm assuming the Zales ain't letting you just keep coming in and out, returning their property. If I set the over-under at 6.5 rings purchased in their relationship, what are you setting the number at? Are you taking the over or the under on 6.5?
I think I'd take the under. You're right. It's not the same ring over and over again, or at least I presume not over and over again. But I would figure after time 4, 5, or 6 getting told no, he probably gave up the dream on buying a ring for every single individual one, not knowing how many no's are on the horizon. So I would take the under. I think he probably had 4 rings purchased.
I'm sorry for bringing this up again, and I understand if you don't want to hear it again. It's just very few stories that we've played have broken my brain. I get why you guys get on roller coasters. I mean, I don't have any interest on getting on them, but they do look fun. They do look thrilling. I wish that I had the ability to get on roller coasters, but I don't have any desire to get on. I don't even feel tempted to go on a roller coaster. I don't understand this story. It doesn't compute to me. It doesn't add up. It doesn't make any sense to me how this happened to this individual. I have so many questions about this. Like, I would love to watch a 60-minute story about these people and find out more about it. This is the wildest story that we've talked about on the show since that guy had the AI girlfriend. Remember that story on CBS? The guy had the AI and the real girlfriend. This story, I'm telling you, it has a hold on me. This has nothing to do with what we were just talking about, but I'm just going to get some of the random things out of my mind. Rob, did you realize they still haven't caught that guy in New Orleans?
We're still uncaught?
Did you know that?
We got one left, right?
Yes. There was 10 people that escaped. 9 of them have been captured. The one is still at large. We stopped talking about it because there have been no updates, no breaks in the case. There have been no nothing. Yes, that prison escape back in May, you would have thought by now everybody would have been captured. Come on now. And I would have guessed he had to have been the mastermind, right? If you've been able to evade the police for now 3 months, you're not in Baton Rouge anymore. You're not in New Orleans anymore. I assume at this point, the cops, they just let you go. You know, when you play hide and seek and the person is just, they have such a good hide and spy. You're like, all right, man, come out, man. I'm not going to keep looking around for you. What are we doing here? Did you know that? You probably completely forgot about that story. I forgot about it. One of them is still at large.
There's no way he's still in America.
You think he's dead?
No, I think he's abroad. I think he left. I think he crossed the border. I don't know if it's Mexico, Canada. I don't know if he's now in the Caribbean. I don't know where he is, but there's no way we get a news story in 2-3 months that he was found in Tonganoxie or something. It's not. He is no longer in America.
I don't know. I have no clue where this man could be. I have genuinely no clue where he could be. I would want to know where he is, but no, that New Orleans prison escape story that we talked about a couple of months ago, that person, one of them is still at large. All right, let's get back to very serious sports things. I have a sports thought that I would like to share with you guys as well. Coming up at the top of the hour, Vern is going to join us on the show. We'll get back to the Royals. I'm a little disappointed that Shedeur is hurt, like just a little bit disappointed. Like, there's not a lot, I think, to look forward to in the preseason. The Chiefs, I just don't find to be a very interesting preseason team. It's just, we know the starters, we know their rosters. Like, it'd be one thing if Josh Simmons was a running back or Josh Simmons was a wide receiver, like he plays left tackle. How excited can you be to watch a left tackle play in today's game? Like, that's not even for the diehards. Like, I don't know what tonight's on a Friday night in the summer. If you're in watching the Chiefs second and third string, I'm telling you, you got a devotion to this thing. Clark Hunt needs to call you personally and thank you for your service of cheering for the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm serious. If you're a season ticket holder and you can prove that you sat there and you watched all 4 quarters of today's Chiefs game, I'm telling you that a random Chiefs player or front office executive should call you and thank you for your true devotion to their product. I'm serious. No one loves the Chiefs more than you if you're watching this on a Friday. It's a warm, beautiful, not a cloud in sight. If you're at home watching the Chiefs, I'm telling you, you deserve something very, very special for them. I think the biggest intrigue now with preseason is Jackson Dart. I don't think we've ever had a preseason like this that the number 1 pick was as uninteresting as the Titans one. I'm sure Cam Ward will be good. I think he's going to be good. Is he somebody that you would stop and watch right now in preseason football? Like, is he somebody that if the Titans, and they do play today, they play the Falcons later today, are you like, oh, man, I got to go home. I got to watch Cam Ward's 1 or 2 starts, 1 or 2 series for today? I don't think you feel that way about Cam Ward. I watched a little bit of Jackson Dart in his first start, and I was like, all right, he might be a little better than I thought he was. Preseason lies to you. Like, you start to kind of tell your thing, these stories about guys. I was excited to watch Shedeur this weekend. Now that he's not going to play, he's dealing with the oblique injury. I think that Jackson Dart has moved up the list. He is now the most interesting thing about the NFL preseason. And is he going to play well enough that the Giants just start him?
I think that's the most intrigue. But, I don't think they're going to play him in the regular season until they're forced to play him in the regular season. I think Russ is going to be the guy until it's just overwhelmingly that he's not the guy. I don't think Jackson Dart can do anything in the preseason to overtake Russ. So if you're telling me the second most interesting thing in the preseason or the most interesting thing is a backup quarterback for the New York Giants, then what are we doing? Why do we still have preseason football? What's the excitement? What's the intrigue? Like, oh, the backup quarterback for the Giants is the thing we're really locked in to watch. Then we got nothing to watch. I'm not saying Jackson Dart's uninteresting or might not start a game this year, but if you're telling me that's the most interesting thing in a game in August, then there's nothing interesting happening in August. That's just a fact of life.
Someone on the text line says, "C-Dot, I'm going to be watching for the running backs. They're all fighting for that start over Carson Steele." I guess. Carson Steele's the fifth running back on this team, or fullback number one. Do you think there's any scenario in which they keep Carson Steele over their other four running backs? Is there any scenario? We're not even talking about Pacheco and Kareem Hunt. Like, why are we even discussing them? They clearly like Elijah Mitchell. They just got him in free agency. I haven't heard a reason why they would get rid of him. They just drafted Brashard Smith. I think Carson Steele is – I think he's either heading to the practice squad or he is heading towards just not being on the team, or he's going to be their fullback. Like, maybe they end up keeping him. But one thing that we haven't really discussed is we kind of had Rasheed Rice's roster spot open for the early part of the season. If he's going to be suspended, he's not on your 53-man roster from the very beginning. Now that Rasheed Rice is going to make your original 53-man roster, I don't know if you can keep everybody. You're not keeping Tyquan Thornton. You're not keeping Nico Remilio. You're not keeping Carson Steele. Like, somebody doesn't get to make the 53-man roster. Who is that person going to be? I think we'll figure that out when it comes to the Chiefs. We'll get back to football coming up in a bit, but coming up next, we're going to be joined by Josh Vernier. The Royals have an important home series against the White Sox. We'll discuss it. Keep it right here. So Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Shawnee Mission Ford. Two problems down south. 435 eastbound at Warnall, the right lane is blocked by a stall, and then 435 eastbound just past State Line, it is the right lane blocked there. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center on Val 96.5 The Fan.
Want to see the 2015 World Champion Royals swing it again? Come out to Home Run Derby X at Kauffman Stadium for a reunion on September 13th. Eric Hosmer, Mike Moustakas, Alex Gordon, Ben Zobrist, and Lorenzo Cain take their cuts against reps from the Blue Jays and the Mets. Come join the action for a night of massive dingers, slick defense, and target-smashing thrill. You don't want to miss it. Get your tickets now at MLB.com/HRDXKC. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
Hi, this is Toby Tobin along with Jason Goodenkoff with Lewisburg Ford, Lewisburg, Kansas. Hi, Jason.
Hello, Toby.
Do you have any good deals going on pickup sale?
We got great deals, Toby. Right now, we've got amazing incentives. Always $50 over invoice only at Lewisburg Ford. But listen to this, 2024 F-150s up to $16,000 off of top MSRP. Plus, you get a 2-year free maintenance plan when you buy from Lewisburg Ford.
Whoa, that's good.
Absolutely. And listen to this, on 2025 F-150s, we've got 0 down payment, 0% interest for 48 months, and 0 payments for 90 days, along with a 2-year free maintenance plan, Toby.
Am I able to get a lease?
Absolutely, Toby. We got a 25 F-150 Super Crew STX, 36-month lease, only $499 a month plus tax with 10,500 miles.
I'm on. Okay, but everything else, you buy at $50 over your cost.
Every single day, $50 over invoice at Lewisburg Ford, and only at Lewisburg Ford, Toby.
It goes on all the time. What's your phone number?
816-444-2300.
LewisburgFord.com.
Get ready, KC. August 23rd will not be your average Saturday. Harris, Kansas City is dropping $700 in free play every 7 minutes from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. That's dozens of winners all day long. And it all leads to the big one. At 10:01 p.m., one lucky guest will take home a jaw-dropping $70,000 in cash. That's over $140,000 in free play and cash flying out the door in just one day. Harris, Kansas City, where the cash keeps coming, and you could be our next winner. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Start the school year with hot deals on lunchbox favorites and snacks. This Friday through Sunday, shop back-to-school must-haves like Hy-Vee cereal, Lunchables, family-size Little Debbie snacks, and Goldfish crackers. Stock up on Coke 12-pack cans just $4.99 and Jack's Pizza only $2.99. Too busy to shop? Order through Aisles Online. Schedule a pickup or delivery and leave the shopping to us. Save time, save money during the 3-day back-to-school sale this weekend only at Hy-Vee.
Well, if you're like me, the busy season is here. It's back to school time. It's back to sports time, and that means we are so busy every single day. And Hy-Vee's Aisles Online helps us out so much. It's so easy. Just download the app or go to Hy-Vee.com. Choose your store, select your items, and Hy-Vee does all the shopping. All you have to do is pick up the order or have it delivered to your home. Hy-Vee is taking care of everything as we head into the fall season. Save time, save money. What could be better? Only at Hy-Vee.
Don't let pneumococcal pneumonia break your stride. If you're 50 or older, you're at increased risk. So be proactive with Capvaxive pneumococcal 21-valent conjugate vaccine to help protect against invasive pneumococcal disease and pneumonia caused by certain types of pneumococcal bacteria. Capvaxive helps protect against the strains of bacteria that cause about 30% more IPD cases than any other pneumococcal conjugate vaccine in adults over 50, according to national-level CDC stats. Regional variations may exist. Don't get Capvaxive if you're allergic to the vaccine or its ingredients. Tell your doctor if you have a weakened immune system. Common side effects include injection site reactions, feeling tired, headache, muscle aches, and fever. Capvaxive does not protect against all strains. For more information, call 1-800-927-8888 or visit capvaxive.com. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Capvaxive. Need help paying for your Merck vaccine? Visit merckhelps.com. Sponsored by Merck.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Park & Go, the best deals on airport parking.
Don't fumble your airport parking. Score big with Park & Go. All covered parking, fast and free shuttles, and open 24/7. For the best deals in airport parking, reserve your spot now at bookparkandgo.com. Park & Go, family owned and fan approved.
Listen to the Chiefs and Seahawks on Friday with pregame starting at 8 right here on your exclusive home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. KFMZ FM and AM HD1 and HD2 Kansas City. An Odyssey Sports Station.
Welcome back into the drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. Let's head to Kauffman Stadium right now to be joined by our next guest, Josh Vern. You're our Royals insider. Vern, how you doing, my man?
I'm in air conditioning. I'm doing great.
That's good to hear. Let me ask you this, because we didn't get a lot of baseball player names and suggestions. We talked about this a couple of days ago. Can you tell me a baseball player that you just kind of had to be there to fully understand? For example, Dante Hall is kind of one of those people that, you know, if you're a casual fan today, if you weren't around in the mid-2000s, I don't know if you'll understand that for like an 18-month stretch, Dante Hall was like a legit thing. They named a Gatorade after Dante Hall. Ben Wallace, you know, you're a Detroit, a Michigan guy. Like, Ben Wallace was one of those. There's not a single player in the NBA like Ben Wallace today. Heart, grit, plays great defense. He was the most important player on a championship team in the NBA. Can you think of a baseball player that you just had to be there in that era in real time to understand how good or how important they were?
The first one that comes to my mind is Hideo Nomo. Back in 1995.
That's a really good one. That's a real good one.
I think every fan base has a few, especially in baseball, because we know it's a very provincial sport. I think Gerard Dyson would fall into that category. I think Bob Hamlin could fall into that category for Royals fans. You know, baseball's tough because, you know, to be unique is you know, Ichiro. I guess you could point to him, but that's a Hall of Famer, one of the greatest of all time. Those are the names popping into my mind.
Right now, we're joined by our Royals insider, Josh Vern. You're joining us on the show today. Vern, I feel like you and I are a broken record. All of our conversations, we just end up kind of going over the same topics and talking about the same things, that the Royals are kind of on this hamster wheel where they're in it enough where they're still interesting. You have to discuss them, but neither of us think that they're close enough that they're actually going to do something. It just feels like in some ways we are playing out the string of the remaining 39 games that they have.
Yeah, and this is exactly what Major League Baseball wanted. This is what Rob Manfred and the other, you know, all the owners wanted in Major League Baseball, was because even though you and I feel the way that we feel, and a lot of Royals fans feel the same way, there's still the faction of the fan base, and there's still that part of us that acknowledges that crazier things have happened. No, there's absolutely no reason to believe that the Royals will overcome this, what amounts to a 5-game deficit with the New York Yankees when you factor in tiebreakers. No, there's no reason to believe that it's going to happen. No statistical evidence that points to the probability being better than what the odds say. But, there are young Royals fans, a young Carrington Harrison that was growing up watching awful baseball. The young Royal fan right now gets to tune in to Bobby Witt and Salvi and a great pitching staff and believe that the team still has hope. So, yeah, while us, jaded old folk are ready to close the book on this 2025 season, the health of the Kansas City Royals and baseball in Kansas City is in a much better spot, despite the fact that, no, you and I and many others don't believe it's in the cards.
I love my cross-sport comparison. I'll make a basketball analogy. Wednesday's day game felt like in a basketball game where, you got a chance to hit a big shot that the other team kind of calls timeout. You get a little bit of momentum going, and that could maybe be the difference in a run. Now, they won the series against the Nationals, but, that's a team that at home, when you got Seth Lugo on the mound, you're just hoping, all right, we got to sweep this team. You end up losing a heartbreaker, 8-7. The Royals are still under 500. I felt like they just had that moment, that game where, hey, this is kind of one of those fork in the roads for you as a team and how the season can potentially go, and the Royals miss an opportunity to go over 500 against one of the bottom 5 teams in baseball.
And it's continuous, right? You could say something similar about that series in Minnesota. I think you and I have had this conversation for most of these homestands over the past few months, being swept by the A's, losing a series on the road to the Chicago White Sox. Listen, there's no, even as I'm about to dive into this, you still acknowledge, they're only 5 games back of the New York Yankees with 41 to play, but they need to do something special, right? Taken 2 of 3. You even prefaced your point with, it was still a series victory. This team hasn't earned that. You are doing what good teams do, and that is win series at home. The Royals have put themselves in a situation where, Carrington, for the rest of the season, they could win every single 3-game series. Take 2 out of 3 from every single team that they play in a 3-game series from here on out. And that still only gets them to 86 wins. That's what the New York Yankees are pacing for right now, 86 wins. And like I mentioned, if you have the same record as the Yankees, they've earned the tiebreaker, and you will be on your way to Cabo or Cancun or wherever you want to go spend your off season. So, the series against the Nationals, just about everything outside of 20, 25 games, this has looked like an average team, slightly above, slightly below, never awful, never great. When this thing's going well, this thing is struggling. When that thing's struggling, this thing's going well. So, they are what their record says they are, 1 game below 500. And listen, if this team can finish the season 80-82 with how bad this offense was, with how miserable the month of June was, that'll be a nice way to finish the season, but in no way would anyone try to spin a strong finish to 2025 as a positive. Either you have a winning record or you don't.
That is one of the weird things about the Royals, that a lot of it is just the expectations have just shifted based on what they accomplished last year, because you mentioned it earlier. There were times in my life for the Royals to be a 500 team in mid-August and be a team that you still want to go out to the park. They got guys that you feel confident in for the future. I would have killed for that thing now. But now, with the change in expectations, like, man, when's football get here? It is weird how last year it just really recalibrated everybody's expectations for what a good year for the Royals is.
And that's what John Sherman wanted. This is what J.J. Piccolo and Matt Quatrero and everybody in this organization, that's what they want. They should be held to a higher standard because of what they did last season. They fast-tracked Jack Caglione to the big leagues. They made all those acquisitions going into the deadline. This is an organization that, if they fall short of the postseason, you won't hear anyone call it a success. But behind closed doors, the fact that they are still in the race on the 15th of August, if they can make this thing into September and give this fan base a solid 5.5 months of believing if you choose to. If you want to be rush to wave the white flag, that's always going to be the case. But those young fans I'm talking about, those diehards that we started this conversation discussing, if you can keep those people in until September, in a market like this, that's the goal every single season. You'll never hear the Royals say what the Mariners general manager said a few years ago of, man, every season we're just hoping to win 54% of the time. 54% of our trades, our acquisitions, our free agent signings, and our games, we're just trying to be an 85-win team every single season. The Royals will never say that, but I think they would sign off on that right now.
A couple of people on the text line have mentioned either Josh Hamilton or Jim Thome as players that you just had to be there in real time to appreciate.
Hamilton, I love. Thome's 600 home runs, I think the record book kind of speaks to that. But I mentioned Ichiro, and the record book certainly reflects that. But, yeah, Josh Hamilton, especially that night in New York, the All-Star game, the home run derby, with everything that he went through up until that point, yeah, I think he qualifies for sure.
Right now, we're talking to our Royals insider, Josh Vernier, for a couple of more minutes here. What's the latest on Jack Caglione? I saw that he was doing a rehab stint. I believe he had 4 hits a couple of nights ago.
Yeah.
Sounds like he's coming up sooner rather than later.
2 more hits last night. He'll be back in the lineup tonight, I would imagine, back out there in right field.
I missed that.
Which is where he's so he's 6 for 9 so far. Right field for 18 innings. Well, I haven't seen the lineup just yet for Omaha, but I would imagine he's either DHing or back out there in right field. Again, to me, there's no way he's anywhere but in the big leagues on September 1st, and he can earn an expedited trip to Kansas City. I still think you want him down there for the rest of this week and all of next week, because we've already seen not him struggle. I'm not saying that he's going to struggle if he returns. But you know what? The more I talk about it, if the Royals can, carve this thing down to a 3-game deficit with the New York Yankees, right? If the Pinstripers keep shooting themselves in the foot, maybe Cags is here for that Rangers series starting up on Monday, because God knows the offense could use the help. But the thing is with Cags, man, and you can tell I'm kind of thinking this out loud, he's got to be in the lineup every single day. So if he comes up here, he better be overflowing with confidence, ready to rake. And I can't imagine you can be overflowing with confidence after only 1 week of AAA baseball. So, I'm going to stick with 2 weeks minimum, 3 weeks maximum.
I'm going to get you out of here with this last question, Vern. Have the Royals ever had a promotion that even you got excited about? Like when they gave away the replica rings or the viewfinder or a blanket or something. I mean, you go to every single Royals home game, you get a chance to get every single bobblehead, every single T-shirt, every promotion. Has there ever been a promotion like, ooh, man, I actually kind of want that?
Definitely, yeah. Normally anything with Bob, any sort of Bobby, Salvi, anything a Hall of Famer, because those, make great gifts, and I think they are, pretty darn cool. Now, the ones that I keep for myself are George, Brett, Bo Jackson. Anything George or Bo, I'm going to keep for myself. Bobby or Salvi, I'll give to a nephew or a family friend.
Do you have the Patrick Mahomes bobblehead from last year?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, Mahomes. Anything that is a Hall of Famer, I'm hanging on to that.
Okay, because I'm going to say, of all the ones to keep for yourself, like that's the one to keep and never open, and then like 10 years from now, you'll get like $300 for that thing.
Right, yep. Well, I opened it, but...
oh, you can't. Come on,
I have
Vern.
to. I mean, I can't do that. I can't bring something home solely for the purpose of selling it in a few years. No, I opened it, and hang on to it. We'll see.
Vern, do you like Varsity Blues more or Friday Night Lights, the movie?
Varsity Blues. I've never seen Friday Night Lights.
Okay. All right. We're going to fix this. This fall, at some point, I'm just going to text you randomly. It's going to be like October 19th. And I'm like, hey, you should watch Friday Night Lights today. And I'm telling you.
Please do, because 2 weeks after the season ends, I don't know what to do with myself. So please do, because I'll forget.
Okay, that is our guy, Josh Vernier, joining us on the show today, getting you ready for tonight's matchup. A Friday night, I mean, you got two options. Do you want to watch a fake football game or Royals and White Sox later tonight? I mean, you got a lot of entertainment options.
Reminder, again, the game is over on 610, and the pregame on deck show on 610 as well.
Vern, we appreciate you, man. Thanks a lot for popping on today.
Thanks, pal.
Absolutely. That is Josh Vernier joining us on the show. Coming up, we have another random Carrington game to play. We'll play it next. I'll give you the rules. Keep it right here. So drive.
Hey, it's Cole Reagans from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to The Drive with CDOT on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Go Yard all baseball season long with Underdog's Champions Game. Join the millions who have already won billions making plays on Underdog and be next to join one of the leading places to make all your sports selections that you can play in your state. To play, all you have to do is download the app. Choose whether you think a player will go higher or lower than their favorite stats, home runs, strikeouts, total bases, and so much more. Once your entry feels good, you can play with as little as $1. And if you get everything right, you could win up to 1,000 times your money. That's right. If you bet $1, you could get up to 1,000 times your money. So you really could turn $1 into $1,000 with your baseball knowledge. Download the Underdog app. Sign up using that promo code TAP, T-A-P-P, to unlock a special offer for up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. That's promo code TAP, T-A-P-P. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See UnderdogFantasy.com/web/deposit-match-terms. Concern with your play. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Don't let clogged drains slow you down. Call Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter today for our $79 mainline drain cleaning special. The pros at Hamilton will inspect your drains with video camera technology to pinpoint exactly what is needed to clear those clogs and help prevent expensive drain repairs. The expert technicians at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to solve your problem the right way, the first time. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 5-star reviews ensures your peace of mind. Visit callhamilton.com for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
What's up, guys? It's Drew. Could you use a little bit of extra help in the bedroom? We all could. Blue Chew is there to help. Your partner wants you to do whatever it takes to make your sex life better, and Blue Chew is that secret weapon for the bedroom or wherever you decide to get it on. The Chiefs, they're in training camp. They're getting after it. They're trying to train and get their bodies ready for the start of the season here in about a month. What if you didn't need any training to improve your performance and be at your best when it is time to perform? I'm talking about Blue Chew. Turn oh no into oh yes. And if you don't like chewing tablets, that's perfectly fine because Blue Chew's tablets are chewable. They're an online prescription service. There's no awkward visits or conversations at the doctor's office, no waiting in line at the pharmacy. It ships right to your door in a discreet package. And if you want a great offer, free sounds good, right? Go to BlueChew.com and get your first month free when you use our promo code KFNZ at checkout. Just pay $5 in shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code KFNZ to receive your first month free. Then you'll be ready to chew it and do it.
Want to see the 2015 World Champion Royals swing it again? Come out to Home Run Derby X at Kauffman Stadium for a reunion on September 13th. Eric Hosmer, Mike Moustakis, Alex Gordon, Ben Zobrist, and Lorenzo Cain take their cuts against reps from the Blue Jays and the Mets. Come join the action for a night of massive dingers, slick defense, and target-smashing thrill. You don't want to miss it. Get your tickets now at MLB.com/HRDXKC. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
Allstate knows your home means everything to you, and you'll do anything to protect it. But not just with any protection. You want insurance that'll be there for you and your family when you need it most. And that's what Allstate's been doing for over 60 years. So check Allstate first for home insurance you can rely on. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Coverage subject to terms, qualifications, and availability. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Lowe's knows to bring your vision to life, it's important to find the right color. That's why MyLowe's Rewards members get a free Valspar paint or exterior stain sample to test your look to confidently refresh your space. Offer valid in-store only 8/7 to 8/20. Limit 1 per customer while supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See associate for details. Rewards program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
This is the story of the one.
As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
DQ presents the sound of happy. Hear that? That's the DQ chicken strip basket. Only $7.49 for a limited time. We're talking 4 100% white meat seasoned chicken strips served with fries, Texas toast, and DQ signature country gravy. Yeah, you heard that right. For crunch time and no time, it can only be the DQ chicken strip basket. Just $7.49 for a limited time. Get it delivered in the DQ app. Happy tastes good at participating locations.
Arvest Bank, believing in the power of serving others.
Arvest Bank believes in the power of serving others. That's why we're committed to supporting those who serve our communities. We believe that all communities deserve a financial partner who cares. Arvest. We believe.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Arvest Bank. You've got the Wreck and Lease Summit. It is 50 westbound just past 3rd. The left lane is blocked. Downtown, a wreck to watch for, and that is 35 southbound past Front. The right lane blocked. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center, I'm Val, 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Hey, it's Trent McDuffie from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome back to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
I want to talk football, but let me take a really quick detour, and it's something that I think you guys will appreciate. At least I hope that you do. So this week, Rob, you know I filled in for Adam Shine on Sirius XM, so his show is from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Central. So the people that I work with, they are based out of New York. Both of them are Yankees and Jets fans. Diehard Yankees, diehard Jets fans. And I've noticed something in this experience of being able to fill in on a national basis. I don't have a lot of empathy for other people's problems when it comes to their team. Like hearing Yankees fans and Mets fans complain about their baseball team, I don't really feel for you. I feel for you if you're a Cleveland Browns fan, you know? I feel for you if you cheer for the Detroit Lions. Like your team has never really experienced happiness, you know? And anytime you've gotten an all-time great player, they just quit in the middle. Like Barry Sanders one day and just woke up and said, I'd rather do anything to continue to play for you guys. Calvin Johnson one day was like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to play for you guys. Like, I don't want to play at all anymore. Matthew Stafford, you had him for 15 years. He then leaves the first year. He goes to win a championship for somebody else. I understand how tough it can be to be a Lions fan. I get it. But hearing the Mets and the Yankees fans complain about their team, they're struggling right now. Rob, I realize I don't have a lot of sports empathy for people. I came up with this analogy. I think Yankees fans, I think their problem, and I think the Mets are also this. I would also say maybe this is the problem that Kansas basketball has, you know, sometimes. I think they're mad because they didn't get what they paid for. Like, have you ever been to a restaurant, and let's say the restaurant, like, it costs a little bit of money, you know? Like, it's a $60, $70 steak. So you go here, you know, you get all dressed up. You and your wife get out there, you get all dressed up, and then you get the steak. And it's not that the steak is bad. It's just not anywhere close to what you expected when you look at the price tag of things. I'm guessing that's how the Yankees fans have to feel about things. If you spent $300 million on your baseball team, and now you're in a fight for the third wild card team with the Cleveland Guardians, I understand why you would be mad. Wait, we're supposed to be the best team in the American League, but we're not good enough. How about the Mets? They just spent $700 million for Juan Soto. I looked it up today. Their payroll is $339 million. If you were only a half game up of the Cincinnati Reds, I understand why you'd be really mad about the way the baseball season is going. I had to tell them earlier today, and I meant it in a fun, playful way. I like those guys. I had to tell them, the rest of us don't care. In fact, the rest of us are actually happy that your baseball team is struggling. I love it that your team is struggling. For all the times that I had to watch my team struggle and nobody felt any sympathy for me and felt bad for me when I had to watch my team, I now have that energy for other people. all the time that you guys have made fun of me about Missouri not being good, you think I feel bad for you that KU was a 6 seed and lost in the first round? I hope you have more seasons like that this upcoming year. I love cheering against other people's happiness when it comes to their sports team. It's one of my favorite things about sports. I just wanted to share that with you.
I would imagine that there are certain teams in every sport, and I imagine the teams that are the most successful in their respective sports that will just never earn that sympathy. Like if Ohio State football stinks one day, it's a tough break. I'm going to get my jokes off. If Bama, if Kellen DeBoer is not that guy.
I'm actually gonna jump in to help make fun of your team if that happens.
There also, to be fair, the inverse happens. There are some teams where you're like, you know what? I'm happy for that team's success. Do you know what? I mean, don't get me wrong. Having Super Bowl parades in Kansas City doing this job is a great time. But if the Lions ever win one, I will be happy for Lions fans. I truly will
Definitely.
be. You deserve it. If the Cowboys get good again, no. I hate that. Don't let that happen. Disgusting. No thanks. I had to live through the 90s. Never again. There are just some teams that we all cheer for. It's the lovable losers mentality. When the Cubs won the World Series, was there anyone upset? It's like, good for them. Like, I'm happy for them. Look at this group. They've deserved it. When the Dodgers won last year, I did not feel that excitement for them. I hate them.
No, I'm with you. I have one more baseball thought. Can I share the baseball thought with you? Let me just share this baseball thought, and I promise you we'll get back to football. I think you guys will also like this baseball thought that I have. Some of you have like a 12-year-old son, and that 12-year-old son is just starting to really get into sports. Like this person is now, they're becoming a mini you, you know? Like Nate Taylor, for example. He tells us about his son. His son, Hayden, loves sports. Makes sense. His dad works in sports. He tells us stories about playing college football with his kid, Madden for the kid. You get the point what I'm saying. One day your kid is going to come up to you and your kid's going to ask you a question about Shohei Ohtani. Like, hey, this guy's really good. Like, tell me more about him. Like, yeah, no, he is really good, actually. He's he's maybe the best pitcher in baseball, and he also can hit 50 home runs. Like, wait, really? Like, so what happened with that guy? Well, he used to play on the Angels. Well, who else played for the Angels? Oh, yeah, they had Mike Trout. Your kid's going to have no clue who Mike Trout is, and you're going to have to explain to him who Mike Trout is. Like, you know what? There was a time that people thought this guy was Mickey Mantle. People thought there was a time that he's the best baseball player that we had ever seen. Your kid's going to keep asking more questions, and then you're going to double back and be like, wait, these guys were on the same team, and they never made the postseason. And your kid's going to look at you so confused. It's not going to make any sense on how this happened. It's not going to make any sense. I was thinking that because you saw the video this week where they faced each other. It's actually the most watched game ever on MLB Network. They faced each other. Shohei was pitching. Trout was at the plate. They had a little bit of a moment. They tipped their cap. Hey, we used to be teammates. Hey, wasn't it fun when we won 75 games together? Like, yeah, no, it was kind of cool. Of all the players that we have ever seen, I actually kind of do feel bad for Mike Trout. Mike Trout had Shohei as a teammate. He also had Albert Pujols as a teammate and lived in Los Angeles and has played in 3 postseason games. Not 3 postseason series. He has played in 3 individual postseason games and lost all of them and has never been anywhere close to the postseason since. There has been, like, for all the jokes that we get off about Lamar and Josh Allen, at least they've made it to the postseason. Like, at least they've done that. Mike Trout one day is going to retire. He's just going to be done. Like, hey, I'm done playing baseball. And they're going to go around and they're going to ask sports fans like us, hey, what do you remember about Mike Trout? And you're like, I don't know. I mean, that time they got swept by the Royals. I mean, there was some good catch he made in 2012. I mean, I can't really think of anything else. There's no like transcendent great athlete that you feel that way about other than him. Like, some of you love Ken Griffey. You got Ken Griffey memories. I know, Rob, you hate Derek Jeter, but you have like Derek Jeter-like memories. Mike Trout is the best player in any sport that we have ever watched that we also will have no memories and no stories of, and did absolutely nothing in their career, even though they actually did a lot of things in their career. Mike Trout is at the top of that list.
Hey, Mike Trout might be the entire list. I'm sitting here racking my brain about guys in other sports that even fit into this category. I mean, outside of college athletics, and that's just the nature of the NCAA tournament. Oh, can you believe this team didn't got upset early, but they were so good? Like, in pro sports, we've never seen a guy of his talent. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer with
no question about it.
Absolutely no memory.
Yeah, no question about it.
Like, his highlight package, when they show it in Cooperstown one day, you'll be like, oh, yeah, I remember he was great, and I'll remember the MVP, but you don't remember a singular moment. I mean, Griffey's moment was just the fact that he wore a backwards hat. Like his is just like a cultural phenomenon. But like,
yeah, but people
Trout
also
just
like Ken Griffey Jr. in a way. Like, you know, you were around in the 90s. Some of you, you guys were around in the 90s. Like, kids would walk around in Ken Griffey Jr. jerseys. People would wear the Ken Griffey Jr. t-shirt. You wore the Griffey shoes. You played Ken Griffey Slugfest baseball on Super Nintendo or the N64. Like, people have memories and feel something towards Ken Griffey Jr. Nobody feels anything towards Mike Trout. Not even in Los Angeles. No one feels anything towards Mike Trout. That's what I'm saying. I was just thinking that. Like, man, Mike Trout one day, we're going to, like, look back at his career and we're going to, like, explain things. And it's just going to be like, how did this happen? Like, you played with Shohei, you played with Albert Pujols, like you didn't play in a small market and just you never did anything. You never won anything. You never played in a meaningful baseball game. Like, you never, not one time. No, that's going to be the case whenever Mike Trout is
he's
done
under
playing
contract
baseball.
for a long time still. I mean, maybe he gets like a, hey, you're a 35-year-old DH series, and that changes the calculus. I mean, you would have said the same thing about A-Rod before he was a Yankee. I mean, maybe he gets an by the way playoff win at the back end, but his prime just existed.
Yeah, I just don't even know if we're going to remember that. Like, I mean, I bet if I asked you, hey, do you remember that time that Gary Payton won the NBA championship? You're going to be like, no, what team was he on? Like, Gary Payton has an NBA championship ring. You've never discussed it one time in your entire life. He won a championship with the Miami Heat. You had no clue that that's the case. Gary Payton is an NBA champion. That's what I mean. Like, that's kind of how we go to potentially look at this thing. Somebody said, what about Carmelo? No chance. People love Carmelo.
He has multiple gold medals. Like, we have they weren't in the NBA, but we have moments for Melo.
100%. People love Carmelo. Like, love Melo. Like, no. Mike Trout. Mike Trout is not Carmelo Anthony. Like, not like a pop culture sense. No, he's not that. He doesn't have the personality. No one feels anything towards Mike Trout. All right, let's get to the NFL. I'm sorry for taking us on a baseball detour. I just had those thoughts that I want to share with you guys. All right, this is my question. This is the game that I would like to play. I will give you $500,000 for every NFL team that you guess correctly. Every one. But the only caveat is if you miss just one team, you get no money. So you can put 7 teams down on the sheet of paper and go for the gusto and try to leave with $3.5 million. But I'm here to tell you, if you go 6-1, and I don't care what that guy got hurt. That's not the rules. It's like Squid Game. You better get 100% success rate or you get nothing. What NFL teams would you put down guarantees and lock to make the postseason? You are 100% certain you are willing to put them down on the sheet of paper. These teams are making the postseason. I'll go first if you want me to. I think the answer is 2. There are only 2 teams I'm willing to put down that I am 100% certain are making the postseason. It's Kansas City and Buffalo. I'm not saying those are the only 2 teams that I feel very good about making the postseason. But I'm saying is if you were telling me right now that I got $500,000 on the line a piece, and if I get one thing wrong, then I leave with 0. So I'm saying I got to be 1,000% sure. The only 2 teams I feel good about are those 2 teams. I feel good enough about them winning their division. I also feel good enough that if one of them doesn't win their division, that they will grab one of the 3 wild card spots. Andy Reid has been the head coach in Kansas City. This is his 13th season. They have never won fewer than 9 games. Even if the Chiefs are one of the worst version of themselves, they win 10 games. That's enough to grab you one wild card spot. Even if the Chiefs take a significant step back, if things go wrong this year, they'll still make the postseason in some capacity. Maybe they're on the road. Maybe they don't win their division. Worst case scenario, this is about trying to ensure myself leaving with something. I'm putting Kansas City on the list. I don't think that's a homer take. I'm just sitting here. I'm looking at the history. I mean, they have won double-digit games every year since 2015. We're talking about, I got a pretty long track record of suggest that the floor for the Chiefs is 10 wins. If you win 10 games, you make the postseason. The other team is Buffalo. I just can't see another team winning that division. I think that New England's going to be better this year. I don't want to make you guys think I think New England's going to be terrible. Is New England ready to win 12 games? Because if they're not winning 12 games, they're not winning the division. Like, you got to win at least 12 games. Is anybody like Miami? And you want to talk about a team that kind of, you had a spark, and now it's just over. That's the Dolphins. Remember when the Dolphins were hanging like 70 points on people? That feels like that was 8 seasons ago. Remember when Tyreek Hill had a chance to get 2,000 yards? That seems like that was a long time ago that happens. I'm not high on Miami at all. Miami feels like a 5-win football team this year, if I'm being quite honest with you guys. I'm not high on the Dolphins in really any capacity this season. They seem like a team that's preparing to hire a new head coach to me. And then the other team, it's the Jets. Like, come on now. Like, the Jets are winning their division? When was the last time the Jets won the division? I don't know when that was. So, yeah, if you're telling me the only 2 teams, and I only bring that up because last year, if I'd asked you guys this question, you would have told me, oh, yeah, well, of course, San Francisco, you would have left with no money. San Francisco outright missed the postseason last year. Yes, it was injuries. I know why. But they missed the postseason. 2 years ago, you probably would have said the Rams. Well, of course, the Rams, they missed the postseason the following year. Maybe you would have said Cincinnati a couple of years ago. Well, they got Joe Burrow. They've missed the postseason the last 2 years. The point of the game is you cannot miss. You can put 1 team down. You can put 8 teams down. I don't care how many teams you put down. You just can't miss a single team. I think you can only put 2 down confidently. The only 2 teams I'm putting down is Kansas City and Buffalo. I can't put anybody else.
Now, is this AFC only? Or
anybody in the league. I'll give you as many teams as you want to put down.
You got to put Philadelphia in. You just got to. I agree with you on Kansas City and Buffalo. You will hear no argument from me. It is the safest 2 bets. But if you were trying to turn your money and you have a chance to make another $500,000, you can turn it to 1.5. Tell me how Philadelphia doesn't make the postseason. I'm not saying they win the division. Maybe the Commanders are not the team you think they're going to be. They take a step forward. Does anyone believe in the Cowboys? Does anyone believe in the other riffraff at the bottom of the NFC? I think Philadelphia has to be as part of your conversation. I understand why you're not willing to risk it and add a 3rd team. But Philadelphia feels like, yeah, they got probably, a top 7, let's just be nice. I'm not getting into the whole elite debate with Jalen Hurts, a top 7 quarterback and a top 10 coach with an elite defense and a defensive coordinator that everyone believes is one of the better in football. Like, you're telling me that they don't make the postseason because the Vikings or Bears do? The Cardinals rise up and hold them out of the postseason? That just seems extremely unlikely to me. I'm surprised the Eagles are not one of your safe locks.
Let me ask you this question, and I know you'll love this question because you're a running back guy. What happens if Saquon's not Saquon? Last year, Saquon Barkley had 345 carries for 2,000 yards and 13 touchdowns. Does anybody think that the Eagles will get the exact same version of Saquon this year? So we are expecting some form of regression with their best player from this past season. What if Saquon ends up just being, it's not like we don't have examples of those kinds of seasons. Just the year before, his final year with the Giants, he averaged 3.9 yards per carry. Now, I get it. Different team, different offensive line. I get all those things. He ran for 900 yards. In 2021, he ran for 593 yards. It wasn't that long ago with Saquon Barkley. If I'd have been like, hey, you know what? Maybe they should go get Saquon. Oh, he's always hurt all the time. That would have been a very popular sentiment not that long ago. Now, I'm with you. I feel very confident that Philadelphia is going to make the postseason. But again, where I would push back is if you're going to tell me that you're just taking Baltimore, Kansas City, Philly, Buffalo, the NFL history suggests that one of those teams is missing the postseason.
Let me say this.
I don't know. I do not know which one it is. Again, last year, if we had done this same exercise a year ago, San Francisco would have been the overwhelming. How could you not have San Francisco? Look, they have Brock Purdy. Look, they have Trent Williams. Look, they have all of these things. Look, they've never been bad with Brock Purdy. They missed the playoffs last year. Outright missed the playoffs last season. And it's not like people now are all over San Francisco they're going to bounce back this year. I'm just saying we all know how the NFL is. Everything we are expecting to happen, that's not how the NFL works. One of the things that we are all counting on heading into the season is going to fall through. I can't predict exactly what it is, but I just know it's going to happen. So I got to go with a certainty. I know based on history, Mahomes is going to play at least 14 games. The Chiefs are going to win at least 10 football games this season. Josh Allen has also not had an injury history, and he is in the weakest division of any of the good quarterbacks. I'm only rolling with those 2, and I'm trying to win my $1 million.
Here's my logic for adding the Eagles. And I get, of anyone in the world to talk about what happens if the running back regresses, I am the first one to agree with you. Running back regression is a thing.
For sure.
100%. I would tell you this about the Eagles and why I have them in my lock category. They made the Super Bowl once without Saquon.
They did.
They did it with, I bet if we polled 100 Chiefs fans, most people would have forgotten it's Miles Sanders, who had a good season that year. I'm not trying to run down Miles Sanders, but Nick Sirianni, Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, they weren't just good. They went to the Super Bowl, and they lost, but they went to the Super Bowl, and the running back was a guy who's marooned off on Panther Island now and is just forgotten to history. The year after, or the year before, last year, so the year before Saquon Barkley, after Miles Sanders, does anyone remember who the Eagles running back was? It was DeAndre Swift. And again, didn't win the division, weren't a Super Bowl team, but you know what they were? They were in the postseason. So unless, a catastrophe happens, which that changes the outcome of every team in the NFL, I think the Eagles are equipped to survive a Saquon regression because I've seen them have success without a Saquon. That's why they're in my lock category. I also put the Texans in my lock category because I think
Just
the
because of the
AFC
division.
South.
Yeah, just because of the division.
I would not venture out to a fifth. Those are my four, and then I'm done.
Yeah, Houston is actually the only other team that I was really considering in this conversation. Some people have mentioned Tampa Bay. I mean, I'm not willing to put I'm not willing to put all my money on Tampa Bay making the postseason. Like, to me, once you get past Kansas City and Buffalo, I think you're now reaching the greedy territory. I'm taking my $1 million and I'm out of here. Hey, I'm happy. I'm happy with my $1 million. We'll take more of this coming up on the other side. 913-586-7965. We're having a little fun here. I'm asking you guys this question. Right now, if I give you $500,000 for every team that you guarantee will make the postseason, you could put one team, you could put all 14 teams. You get $500,000 for every team you get right. But if you miss just one team, it erases any of the money that you have earned. What teams are you putting into the pot? What teams are you certain, an absolute lock, they are making the postseason? I'm only picking Kansas City and Buffalo in this. You're taking 4 teams, or you're only taking 3 teams?
I'm taking 4. Buffalo and Kansas City, Philadelphia, Houston. I'm taking $2 million, and I'm partying on.
All right, Rob is taking $2 million. I'm taking the $1 million. We'll take more of this coming up on the other side. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Macy's one-day sale is the one sale you can't miss because it's our best prices of the month, like jeweled women's sandals for $19.99 and under, 60% off premium bedding from Charter Club, and over half off Alfani 3-piece suits, half off. Plus, it's Star Money Bonus Days, when Star Rewards members can earn rewards even faster. Not a member yet? Join for free and earn $10 in Star Money for every 100 you spend. Today at Macy's. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply. Subject to credit approval.
2 hours ago, Kyle arrived at the bar.
Hey, what's everyone drinking?
30 minutes ago, Kyle got his friends another round of drinks.
Cheers!
5 minutes ago, Kyle decided to drive home drunk. A minute ago, a law enforcement officer pulled up behind Kyle.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
A chain of events that began 2 hours ago is about to change Kyle's whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
DQ presents the sound of happy. Hear that? That's the DQ chicken strip basket. Only $7.49 for a limited time. We're talking 4 100% white meat seasoned chicken strips served with fries, Texas toast, and DQ signature country gravy. Yeah, you heard that right. For crunch time and no time, it can only be the DQ chicken strip basket. Just $7.49 for a limited time. Get it delivered in the DQ app. Happy tastes good at participating locations.
You want to see the ring? Here, I have a picture.
Wow, look at you.
I know, right? Went to Hellsberg and customized the whole thing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, well, I showed them all her inspiration photos, picked the setting, the diamond. It's actually pretty fun. Now for the real hard part, asking her.
Well, congrats, buddy. Ring looks awesome.
Start your story with Hellsberg. Designed with care and craft since 1915. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
When we're young, we take things for granted, like getting out of bed or even walking downstairs. But as we age, our knees and back and hips may start to prevent us from doing those normal everyday activities. And in the back of our minds, we're thinking, hey, this pain's going to go away. But nothing changes. It's time to call and schedule that free consultation with the medical pros at QC Kinetics. There are thousands of patients who will tell you they wish they would have done it sooner. They turned around their lives with QC Kinetics regenerative treatments that work with your body to help restore and repair that damaged joint tissue. Natural cellular therapies. No scalpels, no pills, just long-term relief with no dreaded recovery. So bring your x-rays and MRIs to QC Kinetics for a free no-pressure chat and through evaluation to see if you're a good candidate. Grab the phone right now and give them a call. Appointments available on Saturday. 816-412-6299. 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. Off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone.
A blood emergency has been declared in the Kansas City region, and donors are urgently needed. Now through August 26th, donate with Community Blood Center and be entered to win tickets to the Chiefs home opener. Visit savealifenow.org or call 877-468-6844 to schedule your donation today.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6812. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6812. That's 800-575-6812. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This report is brought to you by Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. Proud partner of the Kansas City Royals. Each can of Surfside is only 100 calories and the best part, 0 bubbles. Grab it at the K or ask for it at your favorite bars and liquor stores.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Entry Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Entry Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Federal Distilling Stateside Vodka. We've got the Wreck and Lee Summit. It is 50 westbound past 3rd in the left lane. Grandview, that's a stall, but big backups on both sides of the freeway. It's 49 northbound as you approach 140th. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center on Val 96.5 The Fan.
This is 96.5 The Fan, your home for Chiefs football.
I'm going through the text line, and I kind of put these into the FanDuel, just kind of messing around on the app to kind of give you an understanding of what we're talking about. So what we're playing is it's a very simple game. I give you $500,000 for every team that you get right in the NFL postseason. If you miss just one team, then it voids your entire ticket. You're done. You're out of here. So you better be 100% confident that those two teams or however many teams you put in there are making the postseason. So I did mine, Rob, and I got yours up if you want to tell me again, and I'll get you the exact number. My parlay would be minus 198. Just Kansas City and Buffalo to make the postseason, so you got to put up 200 to make 100 if you want to put that in. Someone texted in, I'm taking 6 teams, Kansas City, Buffalo, Baltimore, Washington, Philly, and Houston. I'm here to tell you, no chance you cash that ticket. But if you want to put this, you can. I mean, I'm giving you the numbers right here. It's on FanDuel. If those are your 6 teams, you can get that right now at plus 750. Plus 750 for those 6 teams to make the postseason. Someone else chimed in and said, I would do Kansas City, Buffalo. I would do Dallas and Tampa. I'm guessing that FanDuel would thank you for your donation if that's what you would like to do. But if that's your parlay, that is plus 600 for those 4 teams to make the postseason. So, I mean, a lot of these you can actually just go around and mess around on the app if that's what you want to do. What were your, Rob? I'll pull it up one more time. Kansas City.
I just ran mine while you were talking to make it easy on everyone. I have Kansas City, Houston, Philadelphia and Buffalo. I ran it, and it comes out to plus 252.
Okay.
So I'm definitely longer odds than you.
Yeah, for sure.
But
I'm playing mine super safe, super conservative.
But people have hit plus 252 before. It's not
100%.
Like, it's like I was plus 6,000 over here.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to do I'm not doing a plus 250 on a 4-leg parlay though. You know, like you could probably find a little better value. Like you can then just guess one team to make the postseason. Like based on that, do you think it's more likely that all 4 of those teams make it or just Carolina makes it? Because that's about the same odds. Carolina just to make the postseason is plus 250. Your 4-leg parlay is plus 252. I think it's more likely that just Carolina makes it than all 4 of those teams make it.
I would take all 4 of mine, but the NFC South is so
that's what I'm saying.
Screwy.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I would take my 4, but I also think it's important to know about my 4 and why I have set my 4. I'm avoiding the NFC. The Eagles are I feel like it's a lock. If you bet the Eagles by themselves, they're minus 800. There's belief they're making the postseason. But like after that, I see a lot of people on text line saying the Bucks. I like the Bucks. I like
same
Baker
concept
Mayfield.
about the division.
But their division is light years stronger than like the AFC South. The Falcons went to postseason by 1 game last season. What? And by the way, they played multiple games with Kirk Cousins as a husk of a man out there. Like I cannot believe the amount of Bucks I'm seeing on the text line right now.
Yeah, I mean, now kind of looking at these odds, honestly, especially if I had a free play, I would take a flyer on Carolina or Tennessee to make the postseason. Like, you can get Carolina at plus 250. Tennessee is a 4-1. If Tennessee just ends up maybe being 9-8, Houston ends up taking a step back, like what team could you see possibly winning that division? I think Tennessee could end up winning it. Plus 400 for Tennessee. I don't think it's the worst odds to just, again, don't win the division. Just can you be one of the 7 teams that represents the AFC? I mean, almost half of the conference is going to do it. There's going to be a surprise or two. I'd love to go back last year and see what Denver was to make the postseason because people weren't super high on the Broncos coming into the season last year, and they ended up grabbing the 7th wild card spot, right? It was a 7 or 6. I know they made the playoffs. I can't remember which one it was.
Yeah, there's a 7 because they had to play the Bills, and the Bills are the 2 seed,
Someone said about Chiefs, Bills, and Lions. It's actually not a bad one. Let me pull that up here real quickly.
I like the Lions a lot. Like, don't get me wrong.
That is plus 138. Chiefs, Bills, and Lions parlay plus 138.
The Lions division is the opposite of what we talked about with the Texans.
Like, I would avoid that just because of how weird that division is. Mm-hmm. And the Lions, you don't know when it comes to the coordinators, how good's the offense going to be without Ben Johnson. They lost Aaron Glenn. Yeah, I'm just staying away from the Lions.
They just had was it their center late retired this offseason? Like right before camp, he decided to retire. I like the Lions. I don't feel like the Lions are the safest lock in the world. I think they will be, but I wouldn't put $500,000 on it.
Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll get back to the top stories of the day in Kansas City. We'll get you ready for tonight's preseason game. Andy Reid, he doesn't expect a lot of key starters to play today.
I'm still kind of figuring out who's going to play, not play, that whole deal. So there's a chance I sit a couple of the starters or at least be short with them. We want to make sure we get a good look at these guys, these young guys. So we'll just see how it all rolls going forward. Other than that, everybody practiced and did a nice job.
Andy, with playing time calls, could the third game come into play with that?
Yeah, there's a chance they play a little bit more in the third game. Yeah.
Is Patrick not going to play off?
Well, we'll see. There's a good chance he doesn't, but we'll see how it goes.
That was Andy Reid earlier today. We'll talk more about the Chiefs preseason coming up at the top of the hour. 2 things that I want to share with you before we get to the hits and before we get to the top stories of the day in Kansas City. Story number 1. I usually don't watch these things, but I don't know what it is. I've heard a lot of good things about the Kingdom, so I was like, you know what? Let me check it out. I watched the first episode of the Kingdom yesterday, and let me tell you, 2 thumbs up. I really enjoyed the first episode of the Kingdom. A lot of my friends have told me that the second episode is really good. I'll probably watch that before the preseason game later today. But I'm here to tell you that the Kingdom, it gets my endorsement for, I really enjoyed it. I don't watch the franchise. It's just not really for me. Like watching a show about a team that's made for the team and produced by the team, like that's just not really the kind of content. Like I want a little bit more raw, edgier content if you're going to be covering a football team. Now, obviously, I mean, Patrick Mahomes is named an executive producer on this show, so I'm assuming they took some editorial. We ain't getting the full uncensored version of the Chiefs, But I don't know. The first episode, I was really intrigued by the history, and then they went down and were looking at some of the Chiefs artifacts and basically kind of really spelling out how the Chiefs became the Chiefs and the move from the AFL. I was really intrigued by it. I'm giving you the 2 thumbs up. I really enjoyed the first episode of The Kingdom, and I plan on watching it. For those of you that don't know, it is on ESPN Plus. It's also available on Disney Plus. So if you have either one of those streaming services, you can just watch all 6 episodes now. Maybe you want to avoid the last one because it probably doesn't end the way that you want it to end, but the first 5 might end up being a fun exercise for you if that's what you're into. That's thought number 1. Thought number 2, you know how, back in the day, people would, wake up and then you would go down and you would get the morning paper. On The Sopranos, that was a really big deal. Tony would be in his robe, he'd walk down, he would go get the paper. Well, I would say the paper for millennials is, where you're like still half asleep, but you like open up your phone and you just get on social media just to see what's going on. Well, the first thing that I read this morning, quite literally the very first thing when I opened my eyes and got on my phone, it was a statement from the Little League World Series about how they don't encourage people to bet on the games. Now, I do FanDuel endorsements. I gamble on sports from time to time. I don't want to make it seem like I never wager on sports. Putting money on the Little League World Series, you got to call 1-800-BETS-OFF. I'm serious. You got to join a support group. I'm trying not to make light of this because it's not funny. But I cannot imagine betting plus 500 on some kid from Delaware to get a stolen base. I can't do it. I can't get myself to do that. It's one thing to bet on the hot dog eating contest. All right, that's funny. Rob, you out here betting on a 12-year-old to hit a home run? You're out here betting on Delaware to get out of their region in the Little League World Series? What's going on? I don't even want to gamble on an app that would allow you to do something like that. I'm serious. I don't even want to be a part of that. That's crazy to me. We strongly feel that there's no place for betting on Little League games. Rob, they released a full statement about this. We want to keep the integrity of the game, and no one should be exploiting the success and failures of children playing a game for their own personal gain. What's going on here? Maybe legalizing these apps was not the right decision. You out here betting on the Little League World Series? Hey, man, just go back to preseason football. You know what? I take back what I said about the Hall of Fame game. I really do. If you're betting on the Little League World Series, I'm telling you right now, you got to join a support group. You got a problem. I'm telling you. It's bad. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll get you ready for Chiefs and Seahawks, which should be a barn burner. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison. Catch Hall of Famer Denny Matthews every Monday at 3.
And gone, Bobby Witt.
On your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Park and Go. You've got Blue Springs. That's a new crash. 70 eastbound at Adams Dairy Park. White left lane blocked. Lee Summit still working that crash. 50 westbound just past 3rd in the left lane from the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center on Val. 96.5 The Fan.
2 hours ago, Kyle arrived at the bar.
Hey, what's everyone drinking?
30 minutes ago, Kyle got his friends another round of drinks.
Cheers!
5 minutes ago, Kyle decided to drive home drunk. A minute ago, a law enforcement officer pulled up behind Kyle.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
A chain of events that began 2 hours ago is about to change Kyle's whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey folks, I've got a couple of important questions for you. Do you know how much money you need to retire? Do you have a plan in place for your loved ones? If your answer is no, it's time to get your financial planning on track with UMB Private Wealth. It's never too late to start. Plus, their team supports you at every step of the planning process. Go to umb.com/private wealth to schedule your appointment. That's umb.com/private wealth. Why not start today?
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Park & Go, the best deals on airport parking.
Don't fumble your airport parking. Score big with Park & Go. All covered parking, fast and free shuttles, and open 24/7. For the best deals in airport parking, reserve your spot now at bookparkandgo.com. Park & Go, family owned and fan approved.
Hi, this is Megan, your friend and jeweler from Shane Company. Did you know not all warranties are created equal? At Shane Company, our free lifetime warranty is all-inclusive and even protects the diamond in your engagement ring. We can offer such an incredible warranty because our rings are crafted to last a lifetime. As your friend and jeweler, our gift to you is peace of mind. At Shane Company, we also cover unlimited repairs, resizings, and cleanings for free for life, saving you thousands over time. Because a friend always has your back. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Start the school year with hot deals on lunchbox favorites and snacks. This Friday through Sunday, shop back-to-school must-haves like Hy-Vee cereal, Lunchables, family-size Little Debbie snacks, and Goldfish crackers. Stock up on Coke 12-pack cans just $4.99 and Jack's Pizza only $2.99. Too busy to shop? Order through Aisles Online. Schedule a pickup or delivery and leave the shopping to us. Save time, save money during the 3-day back-to-school sale this weekend only at Hy-Vee.
Well, if you're like me, the busy season is here. It's back to school time. It's back to sports time, and that means we are so busy every single day. And Hy-Vee's Aisles Online helps us out so much. It's so easy. Just download the app or go to Hy-Vee.com. Choose your store, select your items, and Hy-Vee does all the shopping. All you have to do is pick up the order or have it delivered to your home. Hy-Vee is taking care of everything as we head into the fall season. Save time, save money. What could be better? Only at Hy-Vee.
This ad furnished by Nesmith Taju LLC. Offer not valid in all states or prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Great. Maxed out cards, rent is due, bills are piling up. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
We should do what my brother did. He went to 89cash.com and got $3,000.
With our bad credit?
89cash.com is different. They're one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000.
I'm sure there's a lot of paperwork.
Nope. My brother said it was fast and easy. He did it right from his phone.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan of up to $5,000 in minutes, and your cash can hit your bank account as soon as the next day. Our lenders have millions of dollars to lend regardless of your credit history.
Great news! I went to 89cash.com and we'll have our money as soon as tomorrow.
Wow, that is fast.
If you need extra cash, go to 89cash.com. That's 89cash.com. 89cash.com.
Car wreck? Get the money you deserve. Mike's got this.
Paid for client portrayal and endorsement. Choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
After my car wreck, there was a lot I didn't know.
I do know. If you've been hurt in a car wreck, call me. I've got this.
Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this. You can listen to the Royals and White Sox Friday, August 15th on The Fan, AM 610, with Vern's on Deck shows starting at 6. KFMZ FM and AM HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Congratulations on getting through your 9 to 5. Thank you so much for listening. It is The Drive on 96.5 The Fan. You know what I realized? I don't know if I look down on, I don't know if that's the right term, but I see Chiefs fans like constantly arguing with Bills fans and Bengals fans and Ravens fans on social media. And I'll be like, bro, you do this every day? Like, you just wake up and now you're just going to start arguing with random people on the internet? Like, this can't be a good use of your time. That's what I'm thinking. And this week, I'm starting to kind of understand how it happens. I don't have to play the audio for you guys. I'm sure by now that you've heard it, but so basically he's like the creator of like their version of Arrowhead Pride. Like the way that Arrowhead Pride is a Chiefs site, this is the Bills version of Arrowhead Pride. He tweeted out today, Josh Allen is arguably the best to ever do it in the postseason. Will he finally get over the hump? And then he tweeted out a picture of playoff touchdown to interception ratio in NFL history. Now, Josh Allen was number 1 in touchdown to interception ratio. I feel like there's a lot other things that matter in the postseason, but that's an important stat. Josh Allen was 1. Patrick Mahomes was number 2. This is where I see how you guys get caught up in just randomly arguing with fans from the other team. CBS tells me that 57.4 million people watched the AFC Championship game. That's a lot of people. Well, that's a lot of people they think watch the AFC Championship game. You know, it's the second most watched football game of the year behind the Super Bowl. The more I hear these conversations, I'm starting to think they're lying to us. Not that many people watch the game because they couldn't have watched the same game that I watch. I don't know what it is about Chiefs games. I don't know what it is. But it's like people see controversial penalty, and then it's just like they stop watching the rest of the game. Like there's a controversial thing that happens in the game. They just get so mad because, of course, the refs are cheating for the Chiefs. And then they just forget, like, the Josh Allen 4th down controversy, it happened with 11 minutes left in the game. I'm starting to think that people think that that was the final play of the game. That's how people talk about it. Like it was the last play of the game. Like the Chiefs were up 3 points. The Bills were driving. They tried to do this tush push. They actually got the tush push, but the ref stopped it. And then that was the end of the game, and they ran no more plays after that. It was 22-21 with 11 minutes left in the game. They also ran 5 tush pushes in the game and only converted 2 of them. Sometimes I feel like we in Kansas City are the only people that watch the AFC Championship game. Nobody else watched it. How many times do I got to keep going over the end scenario? The last time Buffalo had the ball, they had the ball on the 30-yard line, down 3, with all 3 timeouts and 3 minutes left in the game. This is what you live for if you're Josh Allen. What you spend every day training for and getting ready for was the scenario that happened to you in real life. You got 3 minutes. You got to put one drive together to go to the Super Bowl. I know you can do it because I saw you do it in the regular season against the Chiefs. I saw you do it this past season. I saw you do it. They didn't get to midfield. That's how the game ended. Am I the only person that remembers this? Sometimes I feel like I'm the only one that remembers this. I feel like I've been this like alternate bizarre universe that I'm the only one that completed the AFC Championship game. I know you guys are with me. You feel me. Are we the only people that got the game after the failed tush push? Did it get blacked out in the rest of America? Did everybody else in America turn the game off? Because that's what I think happened. That's what I think. I'm serious. That's what I think happened. I think people got so mad about that and that the Buffalo Bills didn't get it. And once again, they've now changed the rules. I mean, the first time Josh Allen lost at Arrowhead, they were so mad they had to change the overtime rules because it wasn't fair. Now they've put a microchip inside the football to try to see if they can win this time. They're going to keep finding new rules. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm sorry. So I want to apologize to you guys that, I used to always wonder how you guys like how do you argue about the same thing every single day? You got to be tired of arguing with Bills fans and whatever fan. I know you have to be tired of it. And I'm telling you that this week with all of the quarterback tears, I get it. Calling Josh Allen arguably the best to do it in the playoffs, it honestly might be the worst take I've ever heard. And I've heard some doozies. I've heard some doozies. It quite honestly, it could be, I'm serious, it might be the worst take I've ever heard. And we've played this on this show.
Patrick Mahomes, most overrated quarterback in the league. I'm completely out on him. I'm completely out on the Chiefs. Once they made a Hallmark movie, I was like, forget it. Mm-hmm. I don't like him. I think Josh Allen's a better quarterback. He's 6'5". He can play in cold weather. And I'm just completely out on Patrick Mahomes. I think he's like he's like the influencer of like NFL. Like I feel like people just like overhype him up, and then that's why they win so many games.
Calling Josh Allen the best to ever do it in the postseason is a worse take than that. And I'm telling you, that's tough. I'm telling you, that's really, really tough to beat. That was the heavyweight champion. That was Mike Tyson in 1989. It took a tremendous effort to knock that off. That might be the worst one I've heard. So I want to tell you, Chiefs Kingdom, that I apologize. I apologize to you guys for judging you, for arguing with Bills fans. And as I've done it now 3 days this week, I'm like, you know what? I get it. I get how you can get sucked into this. I get it. I really do. I understand. So I want to apologize to all of you for the judgment that I've given you for your internet conduct. And I want to tell you that I understand and that I'm one of you. I want to play this audio for you guys so we can get back on the same page and talk about something a little bit more peaceful. Andy Reid met with the media. Here he is talking about what the plan is for tonight's preseason game against Seattle.
I'm still kind of figuring out who's going to play, not play, that whole deal. So there's a chance I sit a couple of the starters or at least be short with them. We want to make sure we get a good look at these guys, these young guys. So we'll just see how it all rolls going forward. Other than that, everybody practiced and did a nice job. So.
Andy, with playing time calls, could the third game come into play with that?
Yeah, there's a chance they play a little bit more in the third game. Yeah.
Is Patrick not going to play off?
Well, we'll see. There's a good chance he doesn't, but we'll see how it goes.
I want you guys to understand where I'm coming from. And this is not judgment. If you care a lot about the Chiefs preseason game today, I hope it is everything that you want it to be. I hope it is the most preseason football game that has ever preseasoned in the history of the preseason. I really want that for you. There's not a single part of me that cares about today's preseason game. Not a even small part. Well, Carrington, you got to watch it for your job. Okay. I mean, it'll be on. I don't know how active I'm going to watch it. And this is why I feel this way. There's nothing good that can happen in today's Chiefs game. There is not a single thing that we can learn about the Chiefs in this game. In fact, I don't want to learn anything about the Chiefs in this game. You want to know why? I plan on watching them play 20 times over the next 23 weeks. I plan on watching every second of those 20 games that I think they're going to play over the next 23 weeks. There's nothing good that can happen in the preseason. Nothing. They are starting to see that. You want to know why? Because Patrick Mahomes is not playing today. He's not playing. He's not going to have pads on. They're not going to give him a helmet. He's going to be wearing that cap you wear when you get drafted. Travis Kelce is not seeing the field in any capacity today. Good. 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 That's how it should be. Chris Jones is not playing at all today. Trent McDuffie should not be playing today at all. If there is one thing I don't think the Chiefs need, the Chiefs like starters. They're foundational guys. Anybody that you have bought their jersey or considered buying their jersey over the last 24 months, you know what I don't think they need? I don't think they need to play more football. I think they've played a lot of football. They've been to 5 of the last 6 Super Bowls. So we're talking about they play the 16, 17 games this season. Then they play an extra 3 games, and they've done that now for a half decade or so. I don't think they need to play more football. I think the Chiefs are handling it exactly how they should be handling it. If they want to play Patrick Mahomes next week for the game that you guys paid for, fine. Hey, go out there and play one series. We're going to call this in such a way that you are never anywhere close to being in harm's way. Kelce will let you play one series. Chris Jones will let you play one series. You're at home at Arrowhead. This is for our season ticket holders. They paid to come to this. They paid to park. They came out here to tailgate. It's the final game of the preseason. We got a 2-week layoff. If they want to go out there and play and run around, fine. Go ahead. Have at it. Outside of that, there's nothing good that can happen today for the Kansas City Chiefs. I only care about one thing. Maybe you care about more things. I do not care who the 6th wide receiver is for the Chiefs. We spend a lot of time talking about who the 6th wide receiver is going to be for him to have 170 yards over 4 months. It does not matter. I don't care about Robert Tonyan. If we spend a lot of time talking about Robert Tonyan this season, that means that Travis Kelce got hurt. And I'm not hoping that he gets hurt. It does not matter. They don't matter. Not in the grand scheme of things. The only thing I care about with the Kansas City Chiefs is getting all 3 of their wide receivers to Brazil healthy. That's all I care about. We have spent a year plus talking about their wide receiver room. Hey, when's Hollywood coming back? What's going to happen with Rasheed Rice? We now have our answer. Rasheed Rice will be available for game 1. Xavier Worthy, to my understanding, Rob, is he hurt in any capacity? I believe that he's good. I believe that he's healthy. So right now, Rasheed Rice, cleared for week 1. Xavier Worthy, cleared for week 1. I don't know what's going on with Hollywood Brown, but I would hope that in the next 3 weeks that you have, that we can get you to the finish line and we can get you on the field against the Los Angeles Chargers in Brazil. That's all I care about, is getting those guys to the finish line and seeing this offense in the vision that I think the Chiefs have. The Chiefs have had this vision for their offense since April of last year. Since they drafted Xavier Worthy, they have had a vision, a plan of what they think their offense can be. They can't do that if guys are hurt. And you know what all can happen in preseason? Guys can get hurt. I don't think Rasheed Rice needs a whole lot of preseason time. And I also think that the Chiefs, by the way that they handle their training camp, I think that it has been more difficult for them in training camp than it would be today against Seattle in this preseason football game. I do. I think they have been practicing at a level that you feel like you're right. And if Patrick Mahomes isn't going to play, why in the world do I want Xavier Worthy out there catching passes from Gardner Minshew? I never want him. There's not a scenario this season I want him catching passes from Gardner Minshew. That either means that Patrick Mahomes is hurt, or why is Rice in a game in which they are up by so much that they have taken Mahomes out but not taken you out? I never want him to catch a pass in a game from Gardner Minshew. I don't need to see it tonight. That's all I care about. So if you're watching it to see who wins the kick return or a punt returner, great. Now, I hope that's fun. Hey, if it's Friday night, I'm going to be inside. I'm going to turn the Chiefs game on. Hey, great. I will be in the same. I'll have it on. But the Chiefs they are so far past preseason football. I don't care. I don't care if Felix can go out there and get 4 sacks today. He ain't starting for this team. You know he's not starting for this team. Today should be about letting Noel Williams play, letting Brashard Smith, give him 15 carries. If you want to let Bailey Zappi go out there and have fun, hey, Bailey, right before you go on the practice squad, go have fun. Go out there, and we can run the oop-de-oop for all I care. I don't care what you do. That's all I care about for today's game. I don't care about anything else when it comes to the Chiefs.
I mean, this is a positive thing to say. I hope Chiefs fans hear this as positive. The Chiefs have de-incentivized people watching the game tonight. They really have. It's 9 p.m. on a Friday, and it's Minshew Mania. Tell me why you're watching.
Minshew Mania is crazy.
Tell me why you're locked in. Maybe you want to see, okay, maybe Josh Simmons and the O-line, they get some run with Minshew because you're still working through he and Kingsley. Okay, you're locked in from 9 to 9:30. It is a Friday night. It is 10 o'clock, and it's Chris Oladokun against, I don't even know, Drew Lock? Is he the backup of the Seahawks?
I don't know who their backup is.
The Chiefs,
I don't want to know.
When Andy Reid said that in St. Joe on Wednesday, and then they got in the bus and left St. Joe to fly to Seattle, he basically announced to fans, don't watch tonight. Now, you should listen on 96.5 The Fan, 100%. Watching is for fools. Listening is for smart people. But they de-incentivized it by what they said.
I hope that you listen, but the fact that it doesn't happen between 2 to 6, if you don't listen, it's not the worst thing that can happen. You know what I mean? It's not the worst thing.
If we don't win that 1 a.m. rating slot, Carrington, we're all getting fired.
That's fine. That's perfectly fine. Someone said, C-Dot, I bet on Mahomes over passing yards for tonight. Well, you know what? I hope that they give you your money back because of no action. That's what I hope. If he doesn't get in the game, I think they just pay you back, right? Like if he doesn't ever take the field, just get your money back.
I think they do that, but that person should lose. that person should lose on stupidity.
Okay, well,
if you heard
I don't want you to lose.
If you saw all the reports on Wednesday that, hey, Patrick Mahomes isn't playing, and then you still went to FanDuel and said over 9.5, you deserve to donate. Come on.
You know what I would encourage you to do? What I would encourage you right now is just to cash out. That's what I would encourage you to do. Like, you put 20 down, they're going to give you $18 back. Just take the $18. You know what? I will Venmo you the $2 that you lost. I'll just give it to you. I'll give you the $2. I promise you. I don't want you to lose money on account of this. I really don't. And I feel like, hey, that's my fault. I should have told you. I should have announced it on the show. I should have been like, hey, Hey, look over here. Hey, they're not playing Patrick Mahomes. I should have told you that. That should have been it. All right, coming up in about 10 minutes or so. If you missed it, we talked college football with Phil Steele earlier. He might be the number one voice in college football. We're going to talk to him coming up. But, Rob, let's get to the hits.
Your workday is over.
Oh, yeah.
You're headed home, and now you're stuck in traffic. Time to get caught up on the biggest stories in Kansas City and around the country with CDOT and Rob. It's time for the hits. Number 1.
Oh, the text line reminded me. They got Jalen Milroe as their quarterback, their backup quarterback in Seattle. Jalen Milroe. All right, okay.
I've seen Milroe play.
Yeah, I've seen him play.
You know what? I saw him play in far more important games than tonight.
Someone said we watch because we're addicted to football. I
love tonight football.
I love football. I'm telling you, I love football. I ain't got it in me to watch. This is like one notch above the USFL. I'd rather just watch the Kingdom again. I'm serious. I'd rather you just go watch the Kingdom. Like, even if you've already seen it, just start it over, watch it again. I'd rather watch that. I can't do it. I don't know how you guys can do it.
And again, maybe the first quarter, but like when it's Milroe against Bailey Zappi,
I know this.
There's got to be something better to do.
If you're watching the third and fourth quarter of this preseason game tonight, I never want to hear you make fun of somebody for watching wrestling. I'd way much rather watch John Cena than watch Chris. How you pronounce the man's last name?
Oladokin?
I'd much rather watch John Cena wrestle than watch Chris Oladokin. I'd much rather. Those are my two options. If you're telling me those are my two options are to watch Jake Paul wrestle or watch. I'd much rather do that.
If you have like a newborn or something and they're crying or something, you have it on to take care of them, fine. But if you're like locked in with a pizza and nachos and beer, seek help.
You got people coming over to watch the Chiefs preseason game tonight. Yeah, you got a little watch party for the preseason.
If you got the fellas together, just stop.
Yeah, man. You gotta find a high school game tonight. Is there a high school? When does high school start today? They got high school going?
School just started in Kansas, so I doubt
we definitely got a high school game today. Let me go on Preps KC. They got a high school game going on. Did me and the dude from Preps KC still got beef? Remember we had beef for a little bit?
You had beef with the Preps KC guy?
Yeah, I don't know
why.
I
have no
had
recollection of this.
You remember? I don't want to tell the man's business, but you remember we had beef?
Oh, no, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't got no issues with the man. He had beef with me. I have no issues with him.
You said us. Like, I don't do nothing to Preps KC.
You and I rep the same smart tech. So if they got beef with me in the show, they got beef with you. That's how this works. What you thought? You thought I could have beef with somebody, you were going to be cool with them? No, it's not how this works.
If you got high school sports beef,
I
promise I'm not part of it.
I never did anything. I don't have any issues with them. I don't have any problems with the man. I'm just trying to find out if there's a high school football game coming on later today.
I would doubt it. It's too early. If we're playing high school football on August 15th, I think next week's the week for high school
football starts on August 29th.
There you go.
Just to give you a little bit of
that
heads
both
up.
sides of state line or just as
I'm looking at the Missouri, yeah.
I think Missouri starts
You can
earlier.
go to Blue Springs at Lee Summit West. Would you like to go to that game?
I'd have more interest in that than going to Seattle
Okay,
tonight.
I'm just asking.
I don't know this. I know Danon and Mitch, they're all very professional. I imagine they're enjoying Seattle more than they're enjoying the game tonight.
Yeah, no, if you wanna go to Blue Springs, Lee Summit West, I'll take you, man. I'll get it where we can go on the sideline. You want to stay on the sideline for that? You want to get an all press pass and we can just stand there?
Any D1 kids in that game?
I mean, I would guess so. I don't know, but I would
probably.
just guess so.
I gotta hone in on my high school recruiting soon.
I do remember now, text line, maybe this is like I'm getting real old. I do remember like 10, 15 years ago, Blue Springs against Rockhurst. That was like a really, really big deal. I don't know if it's still a really big deal, but I do remember there was a time where like you knew when Blue Springs and Rockhurst played, and it was a really big deal. I've been to one of those games, and I'll never forget the Blue Springs kids. They were chanting at the Rockhurst kids. They were winning. We got girls here. That's what they were chanting at the end of it. And I ain't gonna lie, I laughed. It was very, very funny for them to be chanting that at the Rockhurst kids.
I remember
if I was the Rockhurst kids, I would have been chanting to the Blue Springs kids like, "One day you'll work for us." That's what I would have told them. But I don't know if they had that level of creativity.
It's not very chanty. It's a little,
I don't know.
It's a little wordy for a chant.
Yeah, but I'm saying that makes sense.
One day you'll work for us.
But you know what I mean? That's probably how it works out, though. Like the kids at Blue Springs were chanting, "We got girls," which, I mean, that seems like a really big benefit when you're 17 years old that we have girls that go to our school and you don't. But then I also would have said, like, one day I'm going to be the CEO of a Fortune 500 company and you're going to be one of my employees. I don't know how that helps you in the football game that you're losing, but it would have made sense.
If we're going to go down memory lane, I remember on Metro Sports, there were a lot of games in the city that felt like they were a big deal. Like Remember when Ray Peck had all those good players and they would play? Like, I remember high school football used to be a huge thing in town. It just doesn't feel like it has that juice anymore. Is it just the Chiefs sucking the energy out of the room? Like, or is it just not like that kid?
I just think that you and I are just further and further removed from high school. And you also don't have anyone of like, why would you, as a mid-30-year-old man, why would you be keeping up with high school football in Kansas City? With no kids, and you don't even have like a nephew that plays.
I mean, you kept up to high school basketball in the city.
I did a documentary on it, so I just kind of got into it. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
You were texting me last year, Corbin Allen can hoop a little bit.
I'm also weird. I can live with that. Yeah, I would just randomly go to a high school basketball game. That's not your life. That's not your life. Coming up in a little bit, we had Phil Steele on the show earlier today. We'll play for you what he had to say about Missouri, KU, and K-State. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Summer is here, and that means longer days and warm nights, rooftop dinners, spontaneous getaways, vacation season, and romance is in the air. But if you're dealing with erectile dysfunction, all that excitement, it can feel like pressure and like you're missing out on something. Well, look, you're not alone. And more importantly, there's help that's out there, especially with my friends over at Heartland Men's Health. They specialize in ED treatments that work even when the pills and the herbals don't, with a success rate of over 90%. Some guys even last an hour or more. Summer should feel unforgettable, romantic, confident, not stressful. If your sex life is just good enough, then why should you settle? Your first visit is just $99, including a full medical consult, testosterone, and a PSA test, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if it doesn't work right there in the office, then your visit is on the house. Visit the website, heartlandmenshealth.com. With offices in Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City, you can get back in action as soon as tomorrow. Don't let ED steal your summer away. Reclaim it, and you can do that with Heartland Men's Health.
As summer temperatures are winding down, the final push of the season is heating up. With 1 month to go, the division-leading Tigers are coming to the K. They've got Cy Young pitching, all-star defense, and power at the plate. But when they take on the Royals August 29th through the 31st, there's one thing they won't have: their fans in the stands. So bring your playoff spirit and take home a different gate giveaway with each critical game. Reserve your seats at royals.com/tickets.
Go Yard all baseball season long with Underdog's Champions Game. Join the millions who have already won billions making plays on Underdog, and be next to join one of the leading places to make all your sports selections you can play in your state. To play, all you have to do is download the app. Choose whether you think a player will go higher or lower than their favorite stats: home runs, strikeouts, total bases, and so much more. Once your entry feels good, you can play with as little as $1. And if you get everything right, you could win up to 1,000 times your money. That's right. If you bet $1, you could get up to 1,000 times your money. So you really could turn $1 into $1,000 with your baseball knowledge. Download the Underdog app. Sign up using that promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to unlock a special offer for up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. That's promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See underdogfantasy.com/web/deposit-match-terms. Concern with your play. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Tiger, Dragon, do you have what it takes to win? Be fierce like the tiger, strong like the dragon. Only the brave will survive.
Yeah, that's not how these games work. With Tiger and Dragon from the Kansas Lottery, you can win up to $125,000 or $100K in a second chance drawing.
You are weak.
Ouch. It's not a video game. It's better. Play Tiger and Dragon instant games from the Kansas Lottery.
Let's play.
Yeah, that works. See kslottery.com for details.
MIAA fans, it's that time of year. Beginning August 19th, you can purchase 2025-26 MIAA Network monthly subscriptions, annual all-access passes, and individual broadcasts at fan-friendly rates. All MIAA conference regular schedule contests across 7 sports and other select contests will be streamed live on the network. Don't miss the 48-hour flash sale from noon on August 19th to noon on August 21st for $10 off the annual subscription rate. For more info and to sign up today, visit the MIAAnetwork.com. The MIAA. Bring your A-game.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Drinking and driving will change your whole world. The next time you're out with your friends, consider what would happen if you got pulled over after drinking, like the legal fees or the time in court or a DUI on your record. Your decision to drink and drive could change someone else's world too if you hurt or kill them in a crash. Instead, what if your decision to call a sober ride changed your world for the better? Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Hey, listen to this. All I needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things, like these new windshield wipers from eBay I installed.
From small fixes to big upgrades, eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Flooded bathroom? AC on the fritz? When things go wrong, you need reliable service fast. Call Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter and take $50 off any HVAC, plumbing, or electrical repair over $200. The pros at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to fix the problem. Over 40 years experience, more than 8,000 five-star reviews, plus our exceptional service guarantee means you can trust Hamilton to bring comfort and calm back to your home. Visit callhamilton.com for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Shawnee Mission Ford, still working the wreck in Liberty. 35 northbound just past 291 Highway. Be prepared to stop there. 2 right lanes are blocked. Downtown KC, the wreck 670 westbound past 71 has the right lane blocked. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center on Val 96.5, The Fan.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
We are 1 weekend away from Kansas State and Iowa State. Farmageddon across the pond. They are going to play in Ireland, and KU plays next week. They open up their brand new stadium against Fresno State. Earlier today, we got a chance to catch up with Phil Steele to talk a little college football. We'll give you a little bit of the conversation around KU, K-State, and Missouri. Here's Phil Steele on K-State and their chances to win the Big 12.
Now, when you look at Kansas State this year, I think what you're going to see is they're going to get great quarterback play out of Avery Johnson. Second full year as a starter. They got Dylan Edwards back at running back. Love Garrett Oakley at tight end. I think he's NFL caliber. Offensive line, they've got 2 starters back, and the defense is strong. And we know that Chris Kleiman always has a top-notch unit. Now, the thing that concerns me a little about Kansas State, and the reason I didn't pick them to win the conference, is their schedule. They do have to play Iowa State, of course, in Ireland. And then generally that affects you the next couple of weeks. They've got that big game against Army 2 weeks later. Wouldn't affect them in conference play, but they do play Baylor on the road. They play Utah on the road, and they even play Kansas on the road. And Kansas gave them a heck of a game last year. So a tougher road schedule for K-State, but they're a legitimate contender and one of the 7 teams I think can win the Big 12.
Right now, we're talking to Phil Steele, taking a closer look at the Big 12. We'll get to the SEC coming up in just a bit. That first game of the season, we're all excited for it. We're less than 2 weeks away. K-State against Iowa State. You're right. Maybe I undersold the Big 12 a little bit because Iowa State is certainly a team that could represent the Big 12 for the college football playoff. Whichever team wins that game, you give yourself a substantial leg up on things. Not only is it a conference win, but you kick off the season right, and that's going to be a long plane ride back from Ireland if you lose.
Yeah, you hit that right on the head, Carrington. When we look at Iowa State, I love the job that Matt Campbell's doing, and he's doing it the old-fashioned way. He's bringing in freshmen, bringing them up to seniors, using the portal a little bit, but not a lot. And I did a blog on philsteele.com about homegrown teams like this. And I think you're going to find that the majority of successful teams this season are of the homegrown variety. Even Ohio State last year, which won the national title, they had 7 or 8 transfers, but the majority of the team recruited as freshmen. They're not bringing in 30, 40 players. And when you look at Iowa State, I like Rocco Becht at QB. They do add a couple of transfers at wide receiver. They had to. They lost Nolan Higgins, but they bring in Chase Soule from East Carolina and Xavier Townsend from UCF. The offensive line looks like it's the best that Campbell's had there at Iowa State. And last year, mid-season, they lost 2 games, but it was because their defense was all banged up. Numerous starters went down to injuries, and they lost to both Texas Tech and Kansas. I think the defense this year will be improved over last year, hopefully stay healthier, and I think they're a legitimate contender. When you look at their Big 12 schedule, you know, they're playing Oklahoma State on the road, Colorado, Cincinnati. Those are teams that pick towards the bottom, so it's a manageable road schedule for Iowa State. But you hit it right on the head, Carrington. This Iowa State-Kansas State game to open up the season is probably a Big 12 elimination game as far as who's going to contend and who's not.
Let's talk about the Kansas Jayhawks. I think a lot of people last year, they probably would have put them in that conversation of a team that could have won the league. They got off to an incredibly slow start. They then got right, and they were one of the more difficult teams. They were kind of dragon slayers there. They knocked off BYU. They knocked off Colorado, and then they had a chance to make a bowl game. They lose on the road to Baylor. Are you expecting Kansas to bounce back this season?
You know, originally, Carrington, when I looked at Kansas, I remember talking to Coach Leipold last year and going over the squad with him. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of seniors. They better do something this year because they're going to lose all these guys next year. And they did have gone this year from number 16 in my experience chart all the way down to number 77. So they're a lot less experienced. But the one guy they do return is Jalen Daniels at QB. And, you know, you look at last year's losses early on. There were a lot of games where they were leading in the fourth quarter and ended up losing, and they were all close losses. And as you mentioned, knocked off 3 ranked teams in back-to-back-to-back weeks. Would have made it 4 that they came up 2 points short against Kansas State. And after going over the team with Coach Leipold, they're in better shape than I thought they would be this year. With Daniels back at QB, the offensive line looks solid with Bryce Foster and Kobe Baines, both all-conference caliber guys. I like the running backs with Daniel Highshaw and LaShawn Williams. Defensively, they brought in a good amount of transfers that should take hold, and I think the key games on their schedule this year are at Missouri on September 6th, at Texas Tech October the 11th, and then a big game against Kansas State. So there's some toss-up games on the schedule this year. If things break their way, as opposed to all those close losses of last year, they could find themselves in the mix.
Right now, we're talking to Phil Steele. We're talking and getting his thoughts on college football. If you could see a sleeper team potentially winning the Big 12, the same way that Arizona State, I guess, was a sleeper team last year. They were projected to finish at the bottom half of the Big 12. Next thing you know, they have one of the best and most exciting players in college football, and they gave Texas a run in the college football playoff. If you could project that sleeper team from the conference, from the league, who do you think it could possibly be?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the team that is off a pair of losing seasons, and that's Cincinnati. And you go back to year 1 for Scott Satterfield. Generally, when a first-year head coach takes over, a lot of players transfer out. You have very few players left, and that was the case with Cincinnati. They had 2 starters back on offense, 6 on defense his first year, and they were much better than their final record would indicate. Now, last year, they opened up the year 5-2, but then lost their final 5 games. This year, they go from number 112 on my experience chart all the way up to number 26. Brendan Sorsby's back at QB. They add in Tyree Walker from Wisconsin, along with Evan Pryor, who's an Ohio State transfer that got his feet wet last year here. The receiving core looks dynamic, and watch Jeff Caldwell. He's an NFL caliber receiver coming in from Lindenwood, and while that's an FCS school, the thing I found going through all these rosters with all the coaches, you actually have a better percentage of hits with these FCS kids stepping up than you do with the P4 kids that haven't played stepping down. He's a 1,000-yard receiver receiver that's 6'5", 212, should have a big year. Offensive line, veteran group. Defense, improved. And remember, Dante Corleone, their outstanding nose tackle, was not 100% going into last year. Was banged up a good portion of the year. He opted to return this year because of that to make himself a better NFL draft pick. That's going to help out the defense. And when you look at the schedule, I think they might lose to Nebraska in the opener. That's a tough one. It's right there in Kansas City, though. You probably get to go to that one. And then they at Kansas, at Utah, at TCU are the tough games. Pull an upset or two, this team could contend for the Big 12 title.
Let's move on to the SEC. We'll talk more national here coming up in a bit, but let's focus in on Missouri. Missouri, I feel like, has been at the top of that Tier 2 in the SEC. I don't want to put them in the same conversations with the Alabamas or the Georgias or those teams, but right there in that next tier, I would say maybe 5 through 8, they've been very, very consistent. Do you think that they could break through this year and make the college football playoff?
Well, I like the schedule. They draw one of the more favorable schedules in the SEC again this year, avoiding plenty of the big boys. And I think they're going to get off to a great start. You look at them defensively, I think that, Corey Batoon has done a great job with that defense. They've got a lot of players there. They added in a ton of transfers. They're going to have one of the better defenses in the SEC. The question mark is the question marks on offense. So they have a new quarterback coming in, and I thought that Brady Cook did a great job last year, especially that game. He went to the hospital, came off the bench, and then led the team to the win late. At running back, they bring in Ahmed Hardy, but last year they had 2 running backs in, and Noel and Carroll. So I think they're a little bit weaker at running back. You look at the receiving core, they lose 3 of their top 4 receivers from last year, including Luther Burden. And then the offensive line, they've got 2 starters back. They lose 3 starters up front. So the question marks are on the offensive side of the ball. They should get off to a great start, though. Probably 5-0 their first 5 games. Then the schedule gets tougher. They host Alabama, host Texas A&M, and they have to play Auburn on the road, Oklahoma on the road, and Arkansas on the road. But, win the games like A&M at home, Arkansas on the road, and they could very well flirt with yet another 10-win season. Eli Drinkwitz doing a heck of a job there.
That is Phil Steele joining us on the show to take a little bit of a preview for KU, K-State, and Missouri. Rob, let me ask you this, as you are somebody who is a KU season ticket holder. You are a believer in KU. Actually, you know what? We're up against it here. We'll talk about this coming up on the other side. I don't want to start a topic and then we just run long and then we can't do anything. I am curious to get your thoughts on KU, kind of what your goals and expectations are for this season. I think at this point with Missouri, I'm kind of at that point like, hey, man, winning 6 or 7 games ain't really doing nothing for me anymore. Like, you need to be an 8, 9, 10-win kind of program. I think they've kind of established that. I think the schedule kind of also lines up for Missouri to be that kind of program this season. And for K-State, I think K-State is one of the 6 or 7 teams that legitimately has a chance to win the Big 12. And if you win the Big 12, then you got a chance to play for the College Football National Championship. We'll get to that. Keep it right here. It's The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for K-State Athletics, 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
When businesses thrive, communities score. That's why Bank of America is the official bank of FIFA World Cup here in Kansas City. And our more than 30 local business specialists are ready to help your business win. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Give me those sauces, grab the chicken strips, let's dunk them in there. There's nothing like it. Hey, I'm Joey. And I'm Josh, and we're team members at our local Chick-fil-A. And a little thing you'll love about the Chick-fil-A chicken strips is dipping them in our sauces. My sauce is the barbecue sauce. If you wanted to add sweet, tangy flavors, there's nothing like it.
I love the garden herb ranch sauce, but if you want a little bit more kick in the spicy side, you can mix it with buffalo sauce.
Dipping them in our sauces, it is perfection.
It's the summer of Chick-fil-A chicken strips and sauces. Order now on the Chick-fil-A app. Team members paid for their testimonials.
You ever wonder what the K has in common with Waikiki? One's got the roar of the crowd, the other, the roar of the surf. Dirt on the base paths meet sandy beaches. And Hawaiian shirts? Actually, they've both got those. On Saturday, August 30th, when the Royals take on the Tigers, the first 15,000 fans take home a limited edition Royals Hawaiian shirt, presented by Miller Lite. Cowabunga, KC! Tickets at royals.com/promotions.
DQ presents The Sound of Happy. Hear that? That's the DQ Chicken Strip Basket. Only $7.49 for a limited time. We're talking 4 100% white meat seasoned chicken strips served with fries, Texas toast, and DQ's signature country gravy. Yeah, you heard that right. For crunch time and no time, it can only be the DQ Chicken Strip Basket. Just $7.49 for a limited time. Get it delivered in the DQ app. Happy tastes good at participating locations.
GimmeTheVin.com big cash giveaway. I hate games and scams. So when we had the idea to give away $25,000, I was very careful about the way it was orchestrated. Get the top of the market money and enter to be the lucky person to get $25,000. This is no joke. This is no game. This is very real. Just like GimmeTheVin.com.
No purchase necessary. For official rules, go to GimmeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GimmeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If Old Spice Deep Sea Super Hydration Body Wash were music, what would it sound like? Start with the deep sounds of Old Spice's ocean waves and kelp. Layer on the smooth, renewing moisture. You wouldn't hear any parabens or phthalates because Old Spice Deep Sea hasn't got any. But you would hear that vitamin B3 for healthier looking skin. So while your regular body wash sounds like this, Old Spice sounds like this. Sounds like it smells amazing.
Drinking and driving will change your whole world. The next time you're out with your friends, consider what would happen if you got pulled over after drinking, like the legal fees or the time in court or a DUI on your record. Your decision to drink and drive could change someone else's world too if you hurt or kill them in a crash. Instead, what if your decision to call a sober ride changed your world for the better? Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Hey, listen to this. All I needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things, like these new windshield wipers from eBay I installed.
From small fixes to big upgrades, eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This sports report is brought to you by Bet365.
This hour's sports report is brought to you by Bet365. Bet365 is officially live in the Sunflower State. Right now, new Bet365 customers bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus in partnership with Kansas Star Casino.
Well hit. Go ball. Gone! Royals fans, FanDuel Sports Network is your TV home and streaming home of the Royals. Beautiful. And there are more ways to watch this season. Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network to stream the Royals without blackouts. Yes! Or watch through a TV provider. Right down the middle. Including DirecTV, Spectrum, Xfinity, Fubo, Cox, and more. Love it! Learn more at royals.com/tune in.
They are relentless! You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Shawnee Mission Ford, still working the wreck in Liberty. 35 northbound just past 291 highway. Be prepared to stop there. 2 right lanes are blocked. Downtown KC, the wreck 670 westbound past 71 has the right lane blocked. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center on Val 96.5 The Fan.
This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, it kind of stinks we actually don't have more time to discuss this. I want to play this for you. I mean, or at least listen to segment of the day. Of course, we get like real, actual news. So this is from NFL Network, Tom Pelissero. This is really, really interesting regarding Rasheed Rice and why the process is being handled this way and how the NFL feels.
Rasheed Rice pled guilty last month to 2 third-degree felony charges stemming from a car crash at high speeds back in March of 2024. The expectation is Rasheed Rice is going to be suspended for a portion of the 2025 season. The question now is how much? My understanding is the NFL initially proposed a lengthy suspension, double-digit games for Rasheed Rice. The Players Union and Rasheed Rice's attorney and agents argued for a much shorter suspension, in part because there is no precedent for suspending someone for over half the season in a case like this. So as you mentioned, there is a September 30th hearing set before former federal judge Sue L. Robinson, who previously heard the initial Deshaun Watson case several years ago here. But there is still a possibility that the sides could come together and agree to a settlement on a suspension that would allow Rice to be suspended at the start of the season. If not, then he would be eligible for at least those first 3 games. But given the fact that not only the decision-making process, but potential appeals could extend that process into October or November if it goes before Judge Robinson, this is something then that could potentially jeopardize his availability for the postseason. A lot to consider as this case moves forward.
I'm so mad that this audio just came out in the last 3 minutes. We would have spent all day talking about this. There is so much information there. Let's start with this. We only have like 3 minutes left in the show. I'm very upset at this. The NFL wanted to give Rasheed Rice double-digit games. Now, I'm not here to tell you that what Rasheed Rice did is not serious. It is very, very serious what Rasheed Rice did. Like, very, very serious. But if we are looking at the history of suspensions in the National Football League, man, the people that get double-digit games, I don't think that this is in line with what they have done. Let me try to pull it up here really quickly. Man, I wish we had more time to talk about this. All right, hold on. I'm trying to pull this up. All right. Double-digit game suspensions. You either gamble on the sport, like you get caught gambling on the sport, or, you are a serial offender. Vontaze Burfict got suspended for 12 games. I think the league kept telling him, hey, you're dirty. Stop hitting people that way. He just didn't seem to listen. Hey, stop hitting people that way. We don't want you to do this. They kept doing it and kept doing it and kept doing it. And then eventually they were like, all right, man. So he got a 12-game suspension. Jonathan Vilma got past the double-digit game suspension. He was involved in Bountygate. Dante Stallworth got a full season suspension. He killed somebody. Pac-Man Jones got one. I'm trying to kind of look this up. There haven't been many people. So Greg Hardy is maybe the example. If he's talking double-digit games, we're talking 10, right? 10, 11, 12, somewhere in that range. Greg Hardy got a 10-game suspension. Go look up what Greg Hardy did. And just the comparative of how this happens. Like, I know this is how NFL suspensions always happen. Well, this person got this, and then this person got this. I don't know what the precedent is for a 10-game suspension. What Rasheed Rice and his side are doing and what the Players Association is doing is the correct thing to do. I think the NFL is being way heavy-handed here if their plan was to give him a double-digit suspension. It also now makes sense why they're bringing in Sue L. Robinson. They're not close. I'm guessing that Rasheed Rice and his team want a 3 to 5 game suspension. They're asking for 10 to 12. Yeah, we need somebody to come in here. Now, I would say this. If you're having all these conversations and you think at some point you are going to be suspended, you ain't beating the suspension. You're not getting a 0-game suspension. And I think it is also obvious you are getting suspended at some point in this season. They're not letting you play all 17 games this season. No. No. They will listen to what the judge has to say, and then they'll go back with what they think the suspension should be. And you and the Players Association, the longer and longer that you try to fight this in this season, the more and more increasing chance it gets that you would miss postseason games. You can't let that happen. You can't let that happen if you're Rasheed Rice. This is really interesting. The league wanted double-digit games. Yeah, well, it makes sense why the Chiefs and the PA are fighting it. Come on now. And again, I'm not here to make it seem like what he did wasn't serious. It obviously is very serious. The people who have gotten double-digit game suspensions in the National Football League, it is a crazy list. It's serial abusers and gamblers who have gotten that. I don't know if it's fair to put them in that conversation. Not based on what actually happened. To me, we're doing this like something more serious happened than what I can't. Wow. That's really interesting stuff. We'll obviously talk more about this coming up on Monday. This is not definitely a 3-minute conversation. There's so many things from what we just heard from Tom Pelissero. Go Chiefs tonight. Go Royals. We'll catch you guys next week. Until then, I'll let Daniel Craig take you home.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
This man was a bona fide scrub.
On 96.5 The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, where we've successfully treated thousands of men for low testosterone and helped them feel like their old selves again.